first match of the day already happened. Game number 2 is underway. That's Allegiance versus Sudahara Teams Esports, the team from India, I believe. And game number 1 did go to ALG. So if we throw ourselves on over to the feed coming right now from the AIC, we can see that we're hopefully just about to get into game number 2.
Yeah, SCS is Saudara Esports from Indonesia. They actually fought their way to qualify.
Sorry, my bad.
It's cool. Don't worry about it, DJ. They actually fought their way to qualify for AIC and defeated some very well-known teams in Indonesia, including EVO's AOV, the reps at the last AIC and AWC. So this is their chance to make it and really represent Indonesia. So it's their first time on a huge international stage like this. And it was actually a really close game 1 in the beginning, and then ALG just took it away with the plays from Zane on the Lindis there. So the draft is probably going to follow what we saw from last draft. We're not going to see Ignis. We're not going to see Mina. We're not going to see Richter. So those key heroes will probably be taken. Yep, Richter being banned right there.
The Richter, of course, not a character we have in the West, but he'll be out alongside Elsu. This is the first chance we see them in competitive play, although they've both instantly been banned.
Yes, Elsu is so powerful. And Richter, he has so many outplay abilities because he's an exciting hero I'd love to go into once we do see him on the fold. But for the time being, Alistair has got into the meta. You know, he's very powerful. Lupu, as we've seen, was played as well. These heroes on the meta that we're seeing from Asia International has been really interesting to watch. But ALG, as always, is prioritizing Liliana for Sleepy. And now they're going to take the Lindis away because last game, Zane just flew away with his Lindis way.
Yeah, of course, ALG did lose some of their players. They're missing KO and they're missing Rocker. That's why they have 80s Hero and Zane here in their place, which is fine. Because those, I have to say, if there are two NA players who could possibly fill those roles, it would be them.
Yeah, 80s Hero actually has an average of 1.08 deaths per game, the lowest on his team, the arch rival of Allegiance, Tribe. And he's definitely a very formidable and talented side laner. And Zane actually has better stats than Rocker. 750 gold per minute during the Valor Series EU. And there we have Shirko there from EU. He's their coach. So Shirko is probably one of the best or the best mid laner in Europe. So Allegiance coming with a strong roster. The only key that I say is they're not with their starting roster, which has played thousands of games together. So we're going to see them kind of come together as a team during this event. And I'm super excited to see how well they do because ALG, as you guys know, placed 5th through 8th in the Arena of Valor World Cup. They're basically a tier 2 team. And we're not a tier 3 team as expected of the Western region. So we'll see how they represent North America in the Asia International competition.
There was kind of some question raised as to whether or not they'd be able to get through the groups. Of course, this is stage 1 of the group stage. The format's a little bit complex. We'll break it down when we have a break. But there are basically 2 group stages. This initial group stage, most people expected Allegiance to get out of. This second group stage is going to be very difficult. So these games right now need to be where ALG kind of finds their footing and manages to set out how they're going to play on the big stage later on.
Yeah, and so far, the early games of all the teams that we've watched so far have been super aggressive. That's why we see a lot of Malik being picked, Lindis. Kresh has also seen a lot of play as well. And the play style of the regions have been actually pretty similar to what we see in North America. So that's a good news for North America is they are caught up on the meta. And I'm sure they learned a lot once they got to Vietnam because Rest was saying that he took away so much information from the scrims. And seeing 80s Hero on this Marja here is very good because that's probably one of his best side laner and one of the top side lane heroes that he does play. And we also know that MTS has an amazing Marja as well. So it'd be interesting to see who they're going to put on the Marja. Is it going to be 80s Hero or MTS? But so far, their draft looks pretty solid. They can now pick, like, they can go ahead and pick either an assassin. We see Kriknak being banned, but they can't. We have seen a lot of Murad play. So Murad could show up here, but I think Zane will probably opt for the Violet because his Violet is very good.
Love to see. We've seen him play Violet on the world stage before. He, of course, played him extraordinarily well during the Valor Series finals, losing to this ALG roster. But he was the standout player from that performance, so I'd love to see him pick up the character again, particularly into a Lindis. The range advantage that a Violet can pull out will be very strong.
Yeah, definitely. Violet is just so strong and counters the Lindis late game, especially because of that range and burst that she has over the Lindis. But Lindis is so dominant in the early and mid game, and Lindis also very powerful in the late game. But I would say Lindis has the advantage here in the early and mid game. But you can see here that the Crixie being picked up with the Crash and Malik, those are very bursty hyper carries. Crixie and Lindis are extremely bursty. If they land their combos on any hero, that's going to do so much damage. And you have very tanky support and front lines here, the Crash, the Mallet. So they may go for the 3 warrior tank composition with 2 hyper carries with the Crixie here.
We'll have to see as the final locks come through for ALG. They'll get themselves a Pyrrha. Rest played this during the finals, and I have to say I'm not a big fan of Pyrrha. I really don't feel that she fits into the current meta. However, the #1 weakness she has is if an assassination can come through, and Sudahara do not have that potential. The Indonesian side does not have any dive.
Yeah, definitely. They do need a dive, and Pyrrha, with the heal that she has, with the Zenio offering a damage reduction, and also heal, SES, they're gonna have to build, anti-regeneration items eventually. Either the Curse of Death on the Lindis or Tomb of the Reaper on one of their heroes here to basically counter the healing and regeneration on a Legion side. And the Zephyrs is a very good with Pyrrha as well. That's a very good engage composition combo that Crash and Malik will have to make sure they can stop Zane from coming in there, because Zane lands an ultimate death from above onto Kate or robots, they're dead.
So they needed to get dive out at the last moment. As soon as they saw that Pyrrha come through, they knew that the backline Lindis was not going to work. So then they draft in a side lane Lu Bu to come take the front lines and offer a little bit more engage potential so that they can maybe get to the Pyrrha during these team fights.
Yeah, the Lu Bu is going to be interesting. Are they going to build on more of an assassin build there with the burst damage, or are they going to build more of a tanky Lu Bu with Mantle of Raw, Spear of Long Genius here? I think they'll probably go for the tank route. So he will need to serve as kind of an initiator, a distraction, and to help the Lindis and the Crixie follow up, because he does have a knock-up with his ability. Crixie also has a knock-up with Nature's Wrath there. So as long as they can combo correctly, SES may have a chance, but I do prefer Allegiance Draft over there. And look at this beautiful stage, TJ. Wow.
It is stunningly beautiful. And you can see the coaches shaking hands as we're going to get into game number 2 between Allegiance and their Indonesian rivals, Sudahara Esports.
Yeah, the person to watch is Kate here, the jungler. This is someone that he's known as the best jungler in Indonesia. And we know that Nasi, here, the guy in the middle, he's a very all-around player. And he's like the calm, the focused member of this squad here. And they want to prove the doubters wrong. And game 2 is where they have to do it to survive here and not lose in this series, because every single game is going to matter in this knockout stage. As you guys know, there are 4 groups and the 4 teams in each group, but the teams 2 to 4 have to play each other in the group, and only 2 teams will advance into the group stage from the knockout stage that we're in right now.
We are into it, game number 1. As the stakes, as you say, could not be higher for both teams. ALG need to start off on the right foot. I'll start my pressing into the enemy jungle. I like this, Sui, because so much of what a Zephyrs needs to do, as with all assassin junglers, is get out ahead. If they can grab this opening kill, it could be massive.
Yeah, and the key that they want to do is once Zephyrs hits that level 4, he has an insane power spike against his opponents. And that's where ALG will have to capitalize on at level 4, because Lindis is still very strong in the early game, and she has a very fast rotation speed because of her tread softly. She can go through jungle very quickly, so Zephyrs will have to play very smart and have to catch Linus off guard, because you want to invade the jungle often here with a Zephyr composition and basically snowball against a marksman composition.
The mid lane will be Sleepy, and there were a lot of questions from me around Sleepy. He had a bit of a disappointing performance at the Valor Series finals. This needs to be kind of a step up from him, I feel, on the world stage.
Yeah, if you look at the mid laner, Sleepy has the lowest KDA on the team, actually at 7, and Roblox, his opponent mid laner, has a KDA of 5. So this is something that might be an interesting matchup to see if Roblox is able to outplay Sleepy potentially here with the Crixie, because Crixie, as we know from AWC, is very good into Liliana.
Here's the pressure through the mid lane, and we'll see if Allegiance opt to go for a full team fight early. Instead, they're very much focused on control right now. Zane pushes up. He'll take the Spirit Sentinel. Now they'll rotate down, threaten this group players. And actually, it's already a threat on this Abyssal. Allegiance need to move quickly, and they do. MTS for the engage. Zane with the death from above. That is devastating. It's a slaughter around the Abyssal Dragon. The Abyssal goes to Allegiance. The team fight goes to Allegiance, and they are in complete control.
Yeah, that was insane, TJ. Zane landed such a great death from above, activated his punish, or he didn't even have punish. He was able to secure the dragon and also secure 2 kills, landing death from above from multiple opponents, and then using his death flurry there as well to secure these kills. And this puts him in a huge lead now, and exactly what they want with the assassin composition.
ALG are just focusing on finding more pressure. They'll be able to back out now, trying to stabilize. We have a moment here, so I'd like to mention I am aware that the quality is a little bit low right now. I will be fixing that during the upcoming break. I'm very sorry for it. We are still resolving some issues. As are ALG. That's a strong fight coming through against them. You can see the Metamorphosis and the Moonfall doing major damage. They do have the Angelic Splendor, though. 80's Hero comes in from above and provides the healing. And in the meantime, MTS with the Marja hard commits into the fight with the Ghost Walk. Zane now follows through with the Malleus. 80's Hero in as well. And it's another good team fight. Zane needs to escape, but he does. Into the Dragon Pen very narrowly. The cleave onto 80's Hero will not finish the kill. And SES do survive, but they're down a player on a very good engage.
Yeah, that was insane. We thought SES was going to win that fight, but MTS, 1 versus 4, doing so much damage on the Marja, using his Ghost Walk ability to dodge a lot of issues, and allowed his team to then re-engage. Zane landed a perfect death from above onto Kate, and then 80's Hero came in with the Malice. That combo stun from 80's Hero and MTS secured Kate's fate there, and they would have killed and turned that fight around. What I loved seeing there, TJ, was how ALG juggled that aggro. They did such a good job juggling aggro, and no one died, escaping with slivers of health there, and just shows how skillful they are.
Yeah, you can absolutely see the teamwork on display as they continue to press forward. They'll be trying to build up their economy lead, and they do so grabbing the Spirit Sentinel.
That gives them a nice, solid 2k gold lead. The Abyssal Dragon has spawned. They're going to rotate to it immediately. That's going to give them further level lead and advantage. And yes, take the blue buff, deny the jungle from the Lindis here, because that's exactly what you want to do with the Assassin competition. You want to win the jungle and then take all the objectives, so you're so ahead, and then basically cut off and gank towers to then start taking tower objectives.
There's just pressure on the Abyssal Dragon right now. They're going to focus in, just trying to get rid of the Abyssal as quickly as possible so that they can build out their own economy advantage.
Yeah, you can see Rest there communicating in the bottom left. He's giving all the commands, kind of the macro, mind that he has, helping you with the rotations. And look, he comes straight. He just knew. He came straight to top lane to back up AIC Hero, so basically negated the 3-man rotation from SES there. And as a result, they're not able to make any play with that 3-man rotation. So ALG doing such a good job. 3,000 gold ahead as well. Rest is constantly in the river, giving the team vision so that they can make the right rotation decisions and secure the objectives.
ALG have done a really good job this early game, just continuing to find pressure. This is a very aggressive look from the team, and you can see it continuing as Zane presses forward. He lands the death from above and then just stands there and watches him run.
Yeah, I think he was stunned by something there, but didn't move. And look at this 3-man rotation from AOG doing such a good job securing this, and that'll give them the tower there. And as a result, they're going to take the jungle as well. That's another jungle denial from them, and they're doing this exactly how they should be playing this assassin composition.
The rotate comes through now towards the mid lane. SES got completely pressed out, and I liked their response. They're constantly still trying to find value, find this abyssal, threaten their own columns, but Zane is having absolutely none of it. Moonfall will come through from Roblox, but it's not nearly enough damage, and you can see as Sleepy fearlessly charges forward into it.
Yeah, you can see the 2 Abyssal Dragons, the 9 jungle. Zane is level 10 compared to Kate, level 8 on this Lindis. They have to now turtle and make sure that they do not continue to give any more deaths over and try to hold their towers as much as possible. But a 1 versus 3, this is going to be extremely difficult for Mars to defend this.
Here's the tower threat. MTS in. The shock is cancelled. Mars is down to half HP. The heals are coming through from the healing line. There is no way to stop ALG.
Yeah, that was amazing, T. You caught it right away. He canceled the shock from Mars. If he's able to land that ultimate, he probably would have cleared the wave and delayed the tower take there. But because AOG waited for the ultimate to go up and then canceled it with that shot, with that stun on the shock there, the Malik was not able to execute and then secure the kill and the tower, which puts them even further ahead. And look at this lead now. 5-0 and 5,000, almost 6,000 gold lead ahead.
MTS continuing to bully them in their jungle, and Sutara Esports are in a lot of trouble. There's the Ghost Walk. MTS recommitting with it, continuing to press forward, now joined by Rest, with Sleepy playing in around the side. There's the leap of the Fox over the wall. Surely he's overextended. The shock will come through. Mars trying for a punish. They've got the Metamorphosis as well, but it's only 2 members and a full rotate through for ALG. Sleepy's low, but he's got them chained down, and the Angelic Splendor's through to heal them all up.
Yeah, and this is where Sleepy, they're a little over-aggressive, over-positioned, put himself in a tough spot, got low. SES tried to engage, but they were able to dodge, and the Malik shock element did not land onto Sleepy. But you notice what Sleepy did there. They did not focus Nasi there when Nasi activated Metamorphosis. So such a smart decision not to waste their abilities on the Crash and try to focus down Mars. So right now, AOG is playing very well. They're very calm, very focused. It just shows all the experience that they have.
Roblox will take damage, but Zane is not letting him just take some. He'll chase him. Ketty actually, during that time, knocked Sleepy very, very low, but they still can't find the kill onto ALG's mid laner.
Yeah, they definitely can. They're just so ahead, so tanky. Sleepy always escaping with a sliver of his health. He's the person that they should focus. You can notice his items here. He has no defense. He has Gilded Greaves, which provides a little bit of magic defense, but that's it. He has a boomstick. They're starting to scale up, but you see the Zephy's there, finishing his Leviathan, and has the rank breaker, and now starting to build a little more tanky, because that's what you want to do when you're ahead with an assassin comp like Zephy's. You want to build more tanky so you don't die right away and start to engage, because once Zephy's misses an ultimate, he's very vulnerable.
Well, he hasn't missed an ultimate yet. There actually is one. Zane going wide. Because of that, Kati gets away, sliding through the jungle on the Lindis.
Yeah, let's look at them. They're going to pressure the mid lane here. It's a 4-man rotation to mid. They may rotate to the dark center or try to invade the jungle potentially here, but they're going to back off.
Metamorphosis spent. Zane recommits, threatening Mystic. He knows he can win this 1v1. There's the healing light from Rest, just tanking all that damage for the whole team. I love this pure play.
Yeah, and look at Kate, what he's doing. He's going to go ahead and take the tower split push from the top. AOG will have to convert this and try to take this tower here.
Shock from Mars, needs to stall. The tower's below half HP. The tower is gone. Zane's in the midst of it all. Mars is still above half HP, but the rest of his team, that's not the same. Roblox needs to back out. He tags the Riki shot and survives. The split lane for Sudahara in the meantime does claim a tower. That was a good hold, all things considered.
Yeah, that was not bad at all. Kate doing a good job taking the top tower. However, AOG does come ahead in that trade because they're able to get a tower and a kill there, and almost got the kill on to Roblox as well, but they're going to get their 4th Abyssal Dragon. It's an Enraged Abyssal Dragon on top of it.
This needs to be stopped. Sutara will go through, but oh my god, the Nature's Realm from Rest stunned up the entire attack. There was no way for SES to get close.
Yeah, that was just such a good play by Rest there. You can see the abilities and the combo from SES. They have to execute 100% to be able to come back in this game, because every time they get these fights, they're not able to secure these kills.
And MTS again giving them the slip. Now the Angelic Splitter will come through. AD0 with the recommit. The Malleus does go wide. SES need to play this smart, just going for the disengage, because they know they can't fight this enraged buff.
Yeah, that was the third Malleus from AD0 that actually missed and went wide there. So that's something that SES can capitalize on, because missing a Malleus is actually huge. It has such a great AoE stun there. And if they're able to capitalize on the mistakes and the misplays from ALG, they have a chance to make it back. But right now, they're completely getting snowballed, TJ. 34,000 to 26,000 gold.
This is a devastating league that's been worked up by Allegiance. They're looking to double it down, continuing to press into the enemy jungle, making sure there's no way for SES to farm up.
Yeah, and look at this engage. When we get onto Nasty, they're going to be able to back up, but the damage from Zane is just too much for Roblox.
He just one-shot their Crixie. That was devastating. And the whole idea of that engage from SES was that the front line could be taken. Now Zane goes in underneath the tower. 1v3. There's the Angelic Splitter. It needs to come through. Zane is very low. He will survive. In the meantime, the rest of the team fight goes ALG's way. They take the tower. They get a 4-man wipe, and they're challenging for the game. Mars needs to hold. There's the shock and the cleave to follow. He's going to try and just clear the wave as best as he can, but the tower's already gone, and so is he. And so are their chances at this game, as ALG look to take a 2-0 victory. Robux will try and contest, but there's no way for him to even get involved. It's GG ALG.
Wow, what a victory there. You can see they're celebrating. Great job from ALG. I love the way they're playing around Zane here. When Zane goes in, you saw the Angelic Splendor from 80's hero protect him underneath the tower. He went 1 versus 3, TJ, and won that fight to survive so long, playing to exactly the win condition of their composition. I love Zane. He understands Zephyr so well, because the lower health Zephyr has, that unwavering death passive kicks in, and the tankier he gets, the harder he is to kill. And he completely took advantage of that and would jump into fights and then back off immediately, then his team would then follow up with the damage. So ALG just showing us why they are the champions of North America and representing North America very well here.
Yeah, that is a sterling performance from them, to say the least, and that is absolutely what we're looking for. We have 2 more games today. No, 1 more. Yes, 2 more games. I'm fine. We'll start things off where we'll continue with XT Gaming from India versus Toyota Diamond Cobra from Thailand. Then we'll move things on to Overclockers from Vietnam versus Tomago from Singapore. These will be close games, and I can't wait to bring them to you. We are, however, going to throw over to a break on our end. As you might have noticed, this stream is a little bit shaky. That was due to some tech issues that we've resolved. The way we resolved them was I had to pick it up and throw together a broadcast. That's where we're at right now. I promise the tech issues will not be a factor tomorrow. We'll be 180% better tomorrow. Right now, I'm still kind of sorting things out. I'm still working how to fix things. So we'll go to a quick break. I'll do exactly that. We'll come back and we'll be all the better. For now, I'll leave you with ALG walking across their stage for a little bit of a handshake.
rất khủng ở pha tranh vừa rồi. Phải nói rằng trong một trận đấu, Erlen đã tạo ra khoảng cách rất
What's your name again? Tên trong game là tên gì? Nước kia được chưa? Hả?
Như vậy là trận đấu thứ hai cũng đã kết thúc rất nhanh với chiến thắng thuộc về Elysian. Và ngay bây giờ thì đứng cạnh tôi đây là đại diện của Elysian, người đã giành chiến thắng của trận đấu thứ hai. Và có một câu hỏi dành cho đại diện của Elysian, đó là ở game đầu tiên thì đội bạn đã bị bất lợi ở con rồng thứ nhất. Nhưng ngay sau đó thì đã liên tục giao tranh tổng thắng lợi. Thì liệu giao tranh tổng có phải là điểm mạnh nhất của các bạn hay không?
First game, your team is under the so in the first game, your team is under disadvantage at the first flag. But after that, after making comeback, your team gain more and more advantage. So we need like a making comeback in the team pro. What's the word? Making comeback. Like how we do it? Yeah, the comeback of the team is strong point effort. Making comeback. Rolling comeback.
Okay, I'll try.
Alright, the big comeback.
So when we fell behind, we knew that we would be able to come back, and we just kept believing in ourselves and just waited for the perfect team fight. That way we could shift the gold lead back into our favor and start taking the objectives.
Okay, bởi là khi mà giao tranh tổng đó thì anh này ảnh tin ở đội mình và ảnh tin là mình có thể là giống như là tin vào những cái người đồng đội và có thể là đưa một cái trận comeback đúng để có thể là kéo cái phần chênh lệch về tiền á, chênh lệch về gold đó về lại đội.
Dạ vâng ạ, và câu hỏi thứ hai mà em muốn dành cho Elysian đó là Jane và Sleepy thì liên tục thay nhau tỏa sáng. Liệu đây có phải là hai ngôi sao của team và có phải là chiến thuật của team đó là đánh xung quanh hai ngôi sao này hay không?
So Jane and Sleepy, they continue to like take their role to shine because they are the star of the game. So is the strategy of your team is to play around these two stars, is to play around Jane and Sleepy.
So Zane and Sleepy are both extremely good mechanically and work good with the team. And they definitely are the strongest points on the team, but as well as everyone is strong on our team.
Yeah. Thì Jane và Sleepy là những người rất là giỏi trong cái đội này và bởi vì họ là có những kỹ năng rất là tốt và Jane và Sleepy thì giỏi nhưng mà những người khác trong đội là cũng rất là giỏi, không kém.
Vâng ạ, xin cảm ơn những chia sẻ của hai anh rất là nhiều. Và ngay bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ cùng đến với một mini game. Vâng, xin cảm ơn Elysian. Và ngay bây giờ đây thì trong những giờ phút giải lao, Minh Anh sẽ cùng giao lưu với tất cả các bạn khán giả đang có mặt tại James Center với một mini game. Các bạn có sẵn sàng chơi một mini game cùng với chúng tôi không ạ? Hãy cho tôi thấy là các bạn nữ ở đây có đông không ạ? Các bạn nữ đâu rồi ạ? Thế còn các bạn nam thì sao ạ? Được rồi, các bạn đã sẵn sàng chơi với chúng tôi một mini game chưa? Chúng ta sẽ đến với một mini game mang tên là lật ô đoán tướng. Tức là trên màn hình LED của chúng tôi sẽ có hình ảnh Và chúng tôi sẽ lật từng hình ảnh, từng ô một ra. Và nhiệm vụ các bạn là phải đoán tên của con tướng đó. Và ở đây thì như các bạn thấy là chúng tôi có 5 phần quà tương ứng với 5 hình ảnh, 5 con tướng. 5 bạn nào trả lời chính xác nhất và nhanh nhất thì sẽ nhận được một phần quà. Đó là một bộ merchandise. Bộ này thì bao gồm một áo hoodie này, một áo phông This is Vietnam và một dây đeo. Một phần quà rất là giá trị đúng không ạ? Và bây giờ có lẽ là xin kỹ thuật cho em.
All right. You know, if there are two things that go together well, it's rest and being kind of awkward in interviews. It's those two things. They were born to be together. My name's TJ, joined by Sui. And we are handling the English language coverage of the AIC. I'd like to apologize once again. There are some tech issues today. Once again, we had some major unresolved issues that were completely unexpected. And as a result, I ended up having to put the stream on. So right now, I am trying my hardest to get it up to speed in a way where you can see the games. And if we do that, then we'll sort it out for tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I expect things to be good to go. So don't worry, the tech issues will be 100% nailed down by tomorrow. For today, they're going to be a little bit messy, and I'm just going to have to ask you to bear with us. You did, of course, just watch ALG's Rest win game number 2 versus Indonesia's Sudahara, and give one of my favorite interviews of all time. What did you think of that game, Simi?
Yeah, ALG just played 100% to the composition really well. They snowballed it, they engaged, they waited till Zephy's turn level 4. Zane had such good engages. He only missed one death from above the entire game, I believe. And every time he would go in, the entire ALG roster would follow up, especially the combo he did with 80s Hero on the Zenio. So really good. Of course, MTS on Marza. Come on. He did so much damage on Marza, and Sleepy playing so aggressive. They really showed up. And I think SES, they have to kind of lick their wounds and clean up a little bit because they lacked some focus. And that's why ALG came out ahead.
Yeah, you could definitely see at moments they were a little bit uncoordinated. And that, I think, definitely resulted in us seeing the ALG side be able to, like, 1v5 the multiple times Zane just dove into the middle of fights. And yes, they were very far ahead, and that was pretty obvious. I want to see an example. I want to see a world in which you can punish somebody like that, though. Because it doesn't matter how far ahead someone is. If you dive in 1v5, you should die.
Exactly, and we saw Nasty go in as Crash with Metamorphosis, and there was no follow-up. Mars also had the Malik Shock ultimate, so I feel like they could have comboed a lot of things really well, along with Lubu in their kit there, and Crixie, and we never saw that type of combo potential come up from STS, and that's why they could never make a comment. I mean, they were down 10,000 gold at the 10-minute mark, around the 10-minute mark in the late game, and they lost every single Abyssal Dragon. AOG took every single dragon. Once they got the 4th dragon with the enraged Abyssal Dragon buff, they went in and engaged so hard, getting 4 kills, and then ending the game off that dive on the top tower there. So ALG looking really solid. I can't wait to see them play their next opponent in the group stage, because so far they look like the team to be making out of the knockout stage here in their group.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we do have a few more games today. If you're just joining us, this is, of course, the AIC, the Arena of Valor International Championship, the English coverage. And we started off a little bit late. We got into Allegiance versus Sudara. That's the match you just saw wrap up. The next game we're going to get into is XD Gaming from India versus Toyota Diamond Cobra. XD Gaming, of course, we saw them at Singapore, right? Sui, you were there for that.
Yes, in Singapore, they actually struggled there in the PvP championships, where teams from Chinese Taipei to Malaysia to Thailand to North America came to compete, and they had a 0-10 record. So they are predicted to be the kind of tier 3 team coming into this. So they have a lot to prove, but they did win 2 Indian qualifiers to compete in the AIC and PV, and to also qualify for the PvP as well. From what I've seen in Singapore, they struggle with their macro game. They get caught a lot by enemy rotations, and they don't know how to play when they're behind. So they have to figure out, because Toyota Diamond Cobra, or TDC from Thailand, they're an amazing team that is super aggressive. They beat IT City Bacon, who were the former AWC representatives from Thailand there for the Arena Valor World Cup. And they beat them to make it and qualify into the Arena of Valor International Competition here event. But they did have a rough season. They placed 7th in their league, in the RPL league in Thailand. And they had to revamp the entire roster, keeping only 2 people, Mr. Suns and Summer. And from that revamp, they're able to then go on a string of victories in the playoffs and lost to Alpha Red in a very close 2-3 series. And Alpha Red is the dominant team in Thailand right now. So I expect TEC to just be overwhelming for XD unless they change a few things here.
Yeah, TDC, though, are inconsistent, right? We saw them struggle all regular season, and it was only recently that we've seen them step up. So if this is going to be that TDC, then I'm very excited for them. But we have yet to see that Toyota Diamond Cobra have the consistency that we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, there's some hope. I mean, I was also there at the Arena of Valor Asia Games, TJ, where India also was represented. And they actually took 1 game off a Thailand team that made it to the semifinals. So there is some hope. They can play very well against the best of the best. Thailand is one of the strongest regions going into this competition. They're what I call the Tier 1 region. So they have a lot of work cut out for them, because Muwan, TJ, do you remember Muwan from the Arena Valor World Cup that we casted together?
Oh, I do.
His Scud, right? They made a name for themselves at the World Cup, and this guy's Scud just came out of nowhere, and that's why Thailand was the most dominant region in the entire World Cup competition during the boot camp in Thailand and also in LA at the competition. So Muwan Get Rich, also a very well-known player on Thailand team. He's a very talented jungler. He has an amazing slims, but honestly, his assassin play is where it's at. Nightmarish level is what I wrote about him. His Cricknack, his Nakroth, all of the assassins he plays it extremely well. So if you give him an assassin, you got to watch out.
And we'll have to see if they make that mistake. Right now, it looks like the stage over at Vietnam is being used for giveaways. And I don't think I can win anything. So we're going to go to a quick break. She's oh my god. This crowd is so... This stage is sick. I know we're not supposed to be, like, all casual and stuff, but this stage is sick, and I just like everyone to appreciate it. We'll go to a quick break. We'll be right back with XD Gaming facing off against Toyota. And I think it's safe to say, I'll nail you down, Toyota Diamond Cobra are the expected favorites.
Yeah, they are definitely the expected favorite. We'll see how that goes, but look at the crowd and the stage there, giving these awesome giveaways here. I love the lights, TJ, how it looks. It looks so good. I mean, this must put a lot of pressure. As a player, and I've been on stages before, that puts a lot of pressure on you, because think about it. You have this huge audience. This is a lot of these teams' first time on an international stage this big. So there's a lot of, pressure and anxiety that goes through them, and they have to compete at a high level with the support from the fans here. So...
Yeah, no, it definitely is one of the bigger stages we've seen in AOV competition, both literally and figuratively. And I can't wait to continue to get into the AIC. Once again, the production today is going to be a little bit shaky. As stated, we hit some major technical snags, and I had to step in and put together a broadcast at the last minute. That means we're going to be a little bit shaky, but I made this break screen myself, and I'm pretty proud of it. So welcome to it. And we'll be right back in a few moments with Toyota Diamond Cobra versus XD Gaming.
Kính thưa quý vị và các bạn, trước mắt chúng ta bây giờ sẽ là trận đấu thứ 3 trong ngày khai mạc AIC 2018 và cũng là trận đấu đầu tiên của bảng A. Cuộc đụng độ giữa hạt giống số 3 đến từ Thái Lan, Toyota Diamond Cobra, và đối thủ của họ là đại diện đến từ nền liên quân còn khá non trẻ, XD Gaming đến từ Ấn Độ, với phần bình luận của hai bình luận viên Quốc Tuấn và Trương Huy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the English language coverage of the AIC. My name is TJ, joined by Sui. Once again, we did have some slight technical issues, major technical issues, and this is a somewhat shaky broadcast as a result. So I would like to apologize in advance. For now, please bear with us. We are going to bring you today's AIC. By tomorrow, things will be 100% smoothed out. For now, we're getting into game number 2 of the evening on this broadcast. It's going to be XD Gaming from India facing off against Toyota Diamond Cobra. That's pretty exciting for me. We talked about it earlier. XD Gaming, you got to see them in Singapore. They're a team that has potential, but they're from a new region. So it's a little bit unfair to expect them to compete against the juggernauts.
Definitely, XD is going to, even though they are the best team from India, you know, South Asia in general, it's newer region to Arena of Valor. They don't have the same experience that Thailand has, the same player base and the competitive team and the competitive scene that Thailand has. So it'll be a lot of learns for XD here. But Toyota Diamond Cobra, this is a team that has heavyweights like Muwan, Mr. Suns, Get Rich. These are very well-known players in the Thailand scene, very popular with their Thailand fan base. And I'm excited to see Muwan in action. He is an amazing side laner, has a monstrous scud that we saw from the Arena of Valor World Cup. And you can see there the players are getting ready on this stage here, this beautiful stage. And I'll keep saying it because every time I see it, it's just amazing.
I feel like it's involuntary from you. Every time the stage comes up, you're like, by the way, I gotta tell you guys, this stage is pretty cool. And it is. Their opponents, though, we didn't really touch on them earlier. Toyota Diamond Cobra had a very shaky regular season. Would that be fair?
Yes, they did have a very shaky regular season. They placed actually 7th overall in the RPL Thailand League, and they had to revamp their entire roster, only keeping 2 players, Mr. Suns and Summer, on their squad. So Muwan and Get Rich were added to the squad, and then they went on a very strong performance during the playoffs to qualify, beating IT City Bacon. IT City Bacon was the former Thailand champions and the Arena of Valor World Cup contenders that represented Thailand in World Cup, and they beat them in the playoffs. So
if you
TDC is going to be very strong.
If you remember, the second best team in the world, the Team Thailand that competed in the grand finals of the AWC, that's the team that TDC beat to get here. So they definitely are coming in with some expectations. And we'll start things off into the draft. Elsu, Richter, again, the 2 first bans, the 2 newest characters. That checks out. I don't expect that to change. Next we
did see
the Ignis
Richter
removed. And
yeah,
has that been standard?
Yes, Richter did make it through in Latin America, Nova Latin America versus Flash Wolves there, and Flash Wolves destroyed with him. So Richter should be banned. He's a very capable hero. Can't wait to talk more about him if he is played and picked in these matches here. But Elsu is also seeing a ton of bans because he's just so devastating with his snipe and his kind of one-shot, one-kill if he lands on a ADC without much health and defense there. Lindis also very popular. We have seen her kind of make it through in the pick phase, but being banned here by TDC is a very interesting, maybe it's a target ban against XD.
Yeah, I am interested to see if maybe it's target ban, or maybe it's just Lindis is one of the most powerful junglers right now, so you're getting rid of things that could potentially be issues. We also get through a interesting first pick, the Yabeneth coming through. in many regions, RPL specifically, people have kind of drifted away from picking Ibeneth, so this may go poorly for XD.
Yeah, Ibeneth is not a priority pick in the beginning. He's more picked towards the ending phases of the draft. The priority drafts are normally a key marksman or key support, like Mina. We saw Mina being banned multiple times, so it's actually a good draft to get the Mina and the Liliana there. I do like that combo, but Raz on Thailand is very scary. Raz is a very bursty and aggressive offensive style mage that fits the Thailand playstyle very well. And they also have the Valheim, which would work really well into the Ibeneth because the Ibeneth doesn't have that range to counterplay against the Valheim. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup in the side lane here. The Chognar could flex side lane as well, or he could play support, but he completely just countered and negated both the Ibeneth and the Mina with his Chaos Protection.
Yeah. And that's a very good draft by TDC because it undoes so much, like you were talking about, of those control abilities that have been picked up so far by XD. If they want a response, I think they need to look for assassins to threaten this side lane Valheim, and the burst damage wouldn't hurt as well against the Raz, and then they need sustain to take down the Chognar. I think TDC have already won this draft.
Yeah, TDC is doing a really good job with the draft right now. You know, with Mina being picked there, and the way that we see the support play from Thailand, he's going to basically counter and wait for that Dark Dominion to be activated and use the Chaos Protection immediately to negate it. And that's really tough for the Mina player there. You have to basically wait and force out the Chaos Protection and then engage with the Mina. And that's really hard against a team that knows what it's doing at this level of play here. Zenio being banned, another problem, but Superman ban is interesting. We see Superman being banned actually from other teams as well, so he may be seeing some resurgence into the meta here.
Yeah, he's definitely not as OP as he used to be. So while we're not seeing him in Western regions because he's definitely not the same broken character, I think he's still a very, very good character. So we are going to see him played in the hands of specialists, like many of the high damage sideliners.
Definitely, and this is pretty scary here. We have, not only is Mr. Suns on his Raz here, he's known for his Raz in Thailand, but we also have Get Rich on the Kriknak. This guy is known for his assassin, nightmarish level of play from any assassin you put him on. And you just gave him one of his best assassins, Kriknak, on Get Rich. This is going to be crazy insane rotations coming from his end there, especially when Kriknak turns level 4. XD, we know, is very weak with their macro. From what I've seen in Singapore, the PvP, where they went 0 and 10 the entire competition, they really struggle with the macro rotation. Zephy's is a good pick. He is a pretty good counter into Kriknak, because if you stun the Kriknak, you can then engage on him. So if they can combo their stuns, XD has some hope, but their early game is going to be struggling a little bit here. But they do have Malik and Ibeneth, who are a little stronger in the early game along with Mina.
Yeah, the early game needs to be perfect. XD need to show that they have macro they didn't at Singapore. I was watching some of those VODs, like you were saying. They definitely, it feels like, struggle occasionally to recognize how to respond to threats. You'll see invades, you'll see pushes, and they don't quite have an instant shot call response. The good thing is that, I feel, is one of the easier things to practice, because there is 1 or 2 people on the team who are shot calling. You sit them down, you work out what you want to do as a team when threats come in, and you're able to level that up very quickly. So if that's the primary weakness for XD Gaming, maybe we'll see it much improved here, and maybe they can show up versus Toyota Diamond.
Yeah, and their composition is really interesting too. They don't have a lot of burst damage. If you look at their composition, Liliana scales into the late game, so their damage is actually very weak in the early game. Zephy spikes in the mid game, but he's not very super bursty as an assassin, especially late game once everyone is full build. And they don't have a comp that can win early game either. So XD's draft is just really conflicting to me, I feel. They have to basically combo every single person to kill the person that they're focusing, because again, they lack the insane burst damage that you see from TDC. TDC has Raz, right? Lots of burst. Ryoma, if you build the full damage build on Ryoma with the Fenrir's Tooth, he will burst down a carry easily with one combo. And then, of course, Crickneck. We can't forget how crazy and how bursty the Crickneck is. If you're on top of each other, his drone drop can literally blow up an entire team when it comes to the amount of burst. So there's 3 high damage heroes from Thailand here. So XD's got to play very careful because any of those 3 heroes can literally carry these fights if they play very well.
Well, we're into game. I'm trying to set up a win condition. I'm like, maybe XD Gaming can work this out. And Sui's like, nah, this draft, let me tell you.
Oh, it's super tough. And if you think about it, look at the side laners here. The Valheim counters both the Malik and the Ibenith, right? The Ryoma as well counters both because he's range. Maybe Malik can hold it against Ryoma a little bit, but Ryoma is going to do really well once he gets his ultimate as well in the side lane. So the side lanes will be out pressured. And that's not a good thing from a macro standpoint. And like I said, they have a weak macro game.
Well, they're already trying to play a little bit aggressive and being shut down by Moonwan and Illidan's. They will be able to actually pick up that buff, but in the meantime, they're counter-invaded much more efficiently. And the threat isn't over yet. There is actually a good slow and the Wailing Blade. Now the Raz comes through. Ooh. Mr. Suns will have an opening kill.
Yeah, you saw what Muwan did there. Such a good job. He did lay them from taking that buff. And when the jungler from XD, and he's going to get mini tricks, he's going to fall here as well. Oh my goodness. Like I said, Mr. Sun on this Raz, you cannot give this guy hit the Raz.
The ability of the Raz to be so mobile, even during the early game, is exploited by high-skilled mechanical players. Mr. Suns plays Raz so often that I feel he is unlike any other player in his ability in the world. I'll go that far, in his ability to use the character.
Yeah, but I want to comment here. When I look at top teams, I analyze them, TJ. I look at the very first rotation. How they play really is an indicator of the rest of the match, honestly. But you see, Get Rich was able to get both buffs, the blue and red buff from his side of the jungle of the map, when the jungler Mintrix took only 1 buff. So that tells me they're faster in rotation, their macro game is better, and then Mr. Sun rotated to again secure these kills here. And already 3 kills in under 2 minutes. That's insane for this level of international play.
And you talk about the buff advantage, you can see how that converts instantly into gold. People might not be aware of how much it matters. Because you get the buff, because your clear times are higher and lower respectively, there's already a major gold advantage, and Mintrix is in more trouble as again the whole team comes through. Drone drop will land, Gitrix will find the kill. And I don't know how XD Gaming stabilized this early game.
Yeah, this is going to be rough. He's level 5 against a level 3 Zephyrs. That's insane. Look at him diving already, getting the kills underneath the tower, dodging the shock ultimate, and then getting a kill again, and that's going to secure 2 kills, 3 kills if you count the jungle kill, and the bottom tower as well. This is not looking good for XD Gaming.
That play by Summer on Valheim is brutal, and you could see Jairy underneath the tower trying to use that shock to regain control. Oftentimes you can do that. You can stabilize your tower pressure with a good shock ultimate, but the second he fired the shock ultimate, they all backed out, the shock landed, and then he was exposed and had no abilities to run with.
Yeah, and that's where Valheim just shines against Malik. Malik is a melee, and if you put a range hero against a Malik, we see like Yorn sometimes into Malik, but Valheim definitely will beat the Malik easily because of that range. He can easily outpoke him, and look at this, Zader's in big trouble.
Zader will need to run. There's the flicker, the stuns do follow. Mr. Suns will chase him behind tower, but he's safe.
Yeah, he is going to save their back off now, but this is their chance to come back in the game here. But, oh my god, look at this damage.
That's not enough. The Nature's Realm gives you sustain, it gives you lifesteal, but not enough to protect against 3 people that over-leveled.
Yeah, I think the hope for XD is really Dexter on this Liana. They have to get on a snowball and honestly give him all the farm, because if Zephy doesn't get ahead in the game, you have to feed your late game carry, and that's a Liliana.
Well, here's the pressure. Shiny will go down, surely. Dark Dominion was spent. There's Dexter recommitting, and that was a mistake as Mr. Suns lands an explosive KO.
Yeah, like you said, it was a mistake to recommit. I don't know why Dexter went back in there after ShineX was easily taken out. He should have just backed off and just continued farming. They have to feed the Liliana at this point and give all the farm to the Liliana because Zephyrs is just way too risky. He has to play more of a warrior support for the Liliana and just go into to keep her alive. Because if you look at the damage output from XD, the Liliana is all the damage that they have. And right now, the Blitzblade has just been finished on Summer, so Valheim is going to start to spike very hard as well, and that is not looking good because this is the mid-game power spike that TC has.
Blitzblade is the mid-game power spike. That's what you get normally 10 minutes into game, and we're 5 minutes into game. TDC have such a gold lead. It is absurd.
It is insane, the lead right now, TJ, and this is why they have to stop feeding. They're down 9 kills. That's over almost 2 kills a minute. And this is what I noticed from Singapore is they would give a lot of kills over and just it works against you when you die and you're behind because you gotta keep farming. You gotta keep the level and gold parity.
Shiny will try and build out. Dark Dominion does land, but it does not matter because the Chaos Protection is there, and there's the follow-through. Mr. Suns again with a double kill underneath the tower.
Yeah, and that was a rough death from above, too. He actually missed the death from above and whiffed it there. And because he didn't land it, there's no way to make plays. And if Zephy misses a death from above and goes in like that, he's basically a sitting duck when he's this behind. Doesn't have that much defense. Level 8 versus a level 10 Cricknack here.
Many people don't know, but the death from above isn't just valuable for the knockups, for the stuns, but it also buffs Zephyrs significantly. If you don't land it, it's almost impossible to find damage. There, we saw the reality of the situation. Now, Shiny's getting another taste of reality as the drone drop comes through, and he's bullied back behind the tower.
Oh my goodness, he has to be. Look at the damage and the stun follow-up. Even with Nature's Realm, he cannot survive the burst that's coming from TDC. Like I said, they have 3 heroes that do so much burst damage, and you have the Valheim as well, who actually does decent damage, especially in the mid-game here with the Blitzblade. So they have 4 damage dealers on Thailand's side, and they're all full offensive versus a team that's more defensive here. And you can see the facial reactions of XD Gaming is they don't even know what to do. They're really caught out here, and they have to kind of regroup and focus because it's already 7 minutes, and it's a 8,000 gold lead.
Yeah, this is a brutal gold lead. There's no two ways about it. To be frank, if I were to give XD Gaming advice, I'd be talking about Game 2. I'd be, at this point, saying, okay, this game's over, use it as an extended pause, basically. In your comms, start talking about how Game 2 is going to work, because there is very little hope for a return to this game, at least under the 15-minute mark. If XD can stall out for 15 minutes, maybe. Here's the push. Oh my god, this Jognar initial that's deep into the backlines. He'll get pushed out. Nature's Realm does land, but it has no effect. There's the Chaos Protection and the dive deep into the backlines. Mr. Suns now joins them. It's a double kill, a triple kill, almost a quadra underneath the tower for Mr. Suns.
That was just an insane engage there. Linda's doing such a good job distracting and waiting on all the abilities on the Chognar here. And then Gets Rich just comes in and does massive damage. He landed a beautiful drone drop, hitting 3 people, and then Mr. Suns as well, following up and landing huge explosive KOs and abilities onto the enemy team, getting that 4 kills. Then the 5th kill we just saw, and then 2 towers, which puts them completely ahead, well over 10k gold at this point in under 10 minutes, TJ. This is tough, and like you said, XD, they need to talk about the next game, and they need to think about their draft a little more, because if you want Mina and Chognar's open, you draft Mina and Chognar together. We see that in top tier teams, and when Mina and Chognar open, they actually take both and take the direct counter to her, and then build a team around, build a composition around that. So they really have to think not only about their in-game, but also the draft as well for Game 2.
Yeah, the draft definitely, it feels like, hurt them, but also what I'm seeing is really good play by Summer. And it works very well. Mr. Sun and Summer are the duo right now. The sunshine is coming through extra strong because of the Summer. Because you constantly have the backline stuns landing from the Valheim, so they cannot choose when to engage Mr. Suns. Then he comes through and just blows up choice targets.
Right, and that's the squad that actually stayed together. Suns and Summer were the ones that stayed together, and then the other three were added to the roster, and then they did so well at the playoffs because they had a really rough regular season.
Well, here's the threat to the high ground towers. And there was the Dark Slayer picked up, and the Drake is chipping away at that high ground in mid. There will be it falling as XDG fall back behind their tower. The minions are arriving against the core. They have one high ground tower remaining, and they won't for long. If there's going to be a turnaround, it needs to happen right now.
It's going to be really tough, TJ, because look at the pressure coming from TDC.
Jairing will land a shock. All his HP's instantly gone, but he does survive. Now they'll recommit. Summer in the meantime, though, drops damage onto Lemon Tricks. There's the deep dive for the Chocnar, and Mr. Sun comes through with Moonwand. It's a cleanup, and game number 1 to TDC.
What a victory there. You can see that they're celebrating the power of the Thailand as a region, and TDC representing Thailand as the number 2 team coming in here, and they are performing so well. XD, they really got to go back to the drawing board. I mean, it started with the draft, and then it went into the game with how they played, and were out-rotated. They took so long to get the red buff, and I mean, the first rotation just told the whole story of the entire game here. When they took the red buff, Get Rich already took 2 buffs on his side, and they felt completely... They were behind over 1,000 gold, TJ, in under 2 minutes.
If you ever want to know what a perfect game of Arena of Valor looks like, you can watch that VOD. Because not only was it literally a perfect game, but it was also the most ideal team fight I've ever seen repeated. Sometimes you see team fights, and I always call them out when we're on the desk together, and we're like, wow, that team fight was perfect. Every team fight that game was perfect. TDC never were tripped up.
Yeah, and to correct, XD, although representing South Asia, so India, Pakistan, and all the countries in South Asia, they are a team from Pakistan specifically. So they are the best team from South Asia, though, representing their region, and they're in a fight for their lives here because every single match matters. You can see the damage. Dexter was their key damage dealer, but you can see look at the damage composition of TDC. The Raz, the Ryoma, the Valheim, so much damage. I mean, they have 4 damage dealers. This is why I love the draft from Thailand. It's a very offensive style draft. XD, and on the other hand, they don't really have that much damage output. Only Liliana is like their bursty damage dealer, and Zephy's has some damage in mid game, but late game he's not as bursty as all these other heroes that Thailand picked. So I think XD needs to go back to the drawing board and pick a more offensive composition that has a chance to come back. Because if you play a very defensive, low damage output composition like they just drafted, if you're not ahead, it's almost impossible for you to catch up and get back into the game if you fall that behind.
If you aren't just
because damage is what gets you back in the game, TJ, not defense.
You're right. And the overall notes from Sui for XD are now draft damage dealers. And those are 3 very good ideas. If you are just joining us, we are, of course, presenting the English language coverage of the AIC 2018. We're in our 3rd match of the day, and we're between XD Gaming and Toyota Diamond Cobra, who did just take game 1. Now, I wanted to take a moment as we had a break to talk through the format, because this was something that I saw confusing a lot of people online. So there are 2 group stages. I've been calling them Stage 1 and Stage 2. There are 3 teams in each group during Stage 1. They're highlighted on our other graphic here as the blue teams. Then there's a purple team in each region that is protected, and they are protected from Stage 1 knockout because of their performances at the AWC and the AIC. That's why they're sitting currently at home, I don't know, watching these games, I assume. And during Stage 2, those teams will join the top 2 teams from Stage 1 in each of the 4 groups. And the top 2 teams from that Stage 2 group stage will then go on to the quarterfinals. It's not that complicated, but it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah, so basically look at it, it's the knockout stage, which is kind of group stage 1, and then there's group stage 2, which is going to be played in Thailand. So the knockout stage is actually played in Vietnam, and you can see the teams that are playing. Only the 2 best teams from each of these groups will make it out of the knockout stage. So one team will be knocked out from each group, and then we're going to have 3 teams in each group battle it out in Thailand. And out of that group stage in Thailand, only 2 teams make it out again. So another team will get knocked out, and it'll bring it down to basically a total of 8 teams that will compete in the playoffs for the championship.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead. We'll throw to a lightning fast break again and reset for a few moments before we get into Game 2 between XD Gaming and Toyota Diamond. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the English language coverage of the AIC. We are mid-break. I think the players are resetting for game number 2 between XD Gaming and Toyota Diamond Cobra. We said early on the draft was the problem for XD. What they ended up with didn't have enough damage and felt too defensive. If they fix that, if they do get an ideal draft coming into game 2, Sui, how do you feel they can change up their gameplay to support it?
Yeah, I think that they banned Richter and Elsu because they don't play those heroes very well. So I expect XD to continue their ban strategy there of banning Elsu and Richter right off the bat. Because you can see their last bans here. I don't think the Superman ban is very smart. I feel like Superman, although it's strong, it could work. There's a lot of other options that you can play with him. There are like Scud or, you know, really strong side laners like Marja and stuff that we see being played over Superman even when he's open. So I feel like the Superman ban doesn't make sense. Roxy makes a lot of sense. Roxy is very strong because of her ultimate and her ability to out push and clear waves so fast. And I think what XD needs to do is they need to draft 2 or 3 high damage. I would love for them to draft 2 hyper carry, squishy, high damage carries with 3 warriors, and then or maybe in a flex and pick one side laner that is bursty as well, like an assassin like Irie or something that could work in. And as expected, they're going to continue to ban Richter and Elsu.
Richter and Elsu, of course, the new characters that could be abused. More interestingly, TDC ban out Valheim and Raz. This says to me that they are banning out the characters they view as, oh, they didn't ban Richter. They banned Ignis instead of Richter.
Oh my goodness, that is scary to play against Richter here. And now I get to talk about him, TJ. I can talk about why Richter is so cool, because some servers don't have Richter yet, but he's amazing. So he basically, his passive gives him 3 modes. If he's in the bush, the land, or river, there's different kind of benefits that he gets. If he's on land, he has a 10% damage reduction. If he's in the river, he has a 15% move speed. So side lane is where he's awesome at because he can rotate so fast through river. And finally, if he is from the bush and engages, he has 36% attack speed in the bush. So he has 3 modes, so you have to watch out. And his abilities are great. Mina being picked here means Chognar is open, so Chognar can be picked to counter the Mina. So I'm wondering if TDC will pick up the Chognar as well as the Mina here, but looks like they may not here.
They already have a pretty tanky sideline in the Yebeneth. We talked about it. They needed more damage. I want to see XD go for... this isn't great.
Get Rish on his Crickneck. Like I said, this guy is an assassin master. You cannot give him assassins, and he's going to get and secure his Crickneck before it's able to be banned against him. So very smart play so far. And that's a very scary engage because you have Mina, you have Richter, you have Crickneck. They're all heavy engaged characters.
it's also just such a good duo because you have the dedicated counter to Assassin Dive now built into your team comp, because Mina is the solution to Assassin Dive, because if somebody leaps in, you Dark Dominion them, and then you have a few moments where you can deal with them and they can't burn your squishies. If you draft the Mina and the Kriknak, there are very few answers. Maybe an Aurum. That's the only support I can think of that would really do well in this situation.
Yeah, maybe a Roxy. Alistair has been kind of seeing some play into the meta here because his ability, his Magic Prison, has a 2.5-second lockdown, which works really well for teams that are very coordinated. And he can kind of hold his own in lane. He's a little weak in the early phase, though. But once he reaches level 4, it's a huge, huge power spike with that ultimate that can literally change the dynamic and then give you the dragon and continue to allow you to take these key objectives and snowball the lead. So Alistair could work out if they play around his skill and his abilities.
Yeah, letting both Kriknak and Richter through the draft, though, I feel was a bit of a slip-up. The Alistair, though, that you were calling for, does come out. Maybe we can see that as a response to the Assassin Dive. I am worried, though, because there's a lot of burst HP, or a lot of burst damage available already for TDC, and XD are going for squishies.
I don't know why they banned Liliana, TJ. They should have banned Raz.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Sun's Raz was... I mean, no, sorry, Raz is already banned. Oh, no, they banned it. They banned it already. So they're target banning Mr. Suns right now. Wow. They're saying, hey, no Liliana, no Natalia, no Ignis. That's 3 mage bans. So they're actually most afraid of Mr. Suns, and they have the right to, because this guy is a monster. So right now he can pick Crixie, would work pretty well in this composition because she has that range that can outrange the Alistair. She has Nature's Wrath. So Crixie would work in this situation. Roxy, of course, being banned because Roxy would be so good against the Richter or the Kriknak because of her Agni's Grasp that can literally counter them and give a lot of CC, along with the combo potential with the Alistair here. So in terms of pick, what I would pick here, they should pick a very dominant side laner. Well, they definitely need Chognar because they need to pick Chognar against the Mina here. So if I were them, I would pick up the Chognar now, because if TDC takes Chognar away, they're in big trouble. So let's see what XD decides here.
I'd love that. Run mid lane Chog. Sure, if they're batting out everything that you can run in mid, just run Chognar in mid lane, then they're set.
No, it'll be side lane.
Instead, XD... No, TDC would have to run in mid. Instead, XD will opt for a Crest in their support role, though, and that does offer... I see why they go for that. If you're worried about dive, the Metamorphosis is a very, very good disengage ability. So, if somebody's diving your backline, you slap on a Metamorphosis and you have a couple seconds reprieve, but they're missing so much because they don't have a Chognar.
Yeah, look at this here. The Tel'Anis is picked up. We saw her actually show up in the meta across the regions, like such as Chinese Taipei. Illumia, we haven't seen a lot of, but she has so much combo potential, especially with the Mina, TJ.
Yeah.
The Cataclysm with the Dark Dominion, those two ultimates together is so much CC. You have also Tel'Anis, which has a AoE long-range stun as well. And then Richter as well. He has his knock-up ability, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to work these combos together. Richter has a knock-up in his first ability. He dashes forward. In his second ability, he absorbs any slow stun or knock-up in a kind of deflect mode that he has, and he also stuns his surrounding target. So that's a lot of CC that they can pile on to against XD here.
Yeah, and if there is going to be a response, it needs to be such a good frontline from XD. So what I'm looking for them to succeed is this Yabaneth and this Crest need to be able to hold frontline and enable the backline damage they do have from their Alistair, from their Lindis. But this Illumia pick, can we talk about that for a moment longer?
Yeah, Illumia is very good into the late game, especially if your team combos, because she, like I said, has the Cataclysm ultimate there. It stuns them. It's a global ultimate. It stuns every enemy if they get hit by it. She also has Banish. She can knock back people, and also Divine Light. So basically, you want to leverage the combo that she has and her passive using any two abilities strengthens the next Divine Light. So she has to basically use 1-2 kind of 1. And it refreshes the cooldown immediately. So the 1-2-1 combo from Illumia is going to make a big difference. And you can actually do 1-2-1-3. So that's Divine Light Banish, Divine Light Cataclysm. If you do that combo with Illumia, you can destroy an entire enemy team. I mean, if she hits the entire enemy team with Banish and pushes them back and then stuns them with Divine Light, that's going to be very rough. So watch out for that combo from Liliana, from Illumia here with the Cataclysm as well. And then Crick Neck and Dark Dominion. TJ, that's scary. If Mina gets a Dark Dominion on the enemy team, and then Crick Neck jumps in with Drone Drop, and Illumia comes in with her burst damage, the entire team get wiped out in just less than a second.
I love the fact that we're getting to see this wide variety, though, because I do feel like we're finally getting to see more characters brought in, and maybe it is TDC taking advantage of the fact that they won Game 1 so dominantly. They say, if there's ever a time at this event to try out our Illumia strategy, it's this game.
Yeah, and also it kind of shows you that if you want to target ban the Mr. Suns, well, guess what? He can play Illumia. So it's going to be very fun to watch how this Illumia will work out here. But Moonwan on this Richter, I'm very afraid of that. Richter is so strong in the side lane. One of probably the best side laner right now because of his abilities and his kits there. You can see him walking through the river, gives him that extra speed boost. He has so much engaging potential and gap closers as well.
XDG do go more aggressive this game. I already like that. They try and find some pressure, and they do stun out with that Matrix of Woe. They already find some damage, slow down the chase from TDC, and they didn't get a successful invade. If you remember last game, TDC dominated the early game. This is improvement.
Yeah, this is a huge improvement. They're playing more aggressive, and they have more damage dealers. They have the Roma, they have a Lindis, they have an Alistair. So they have 3 solid damage dealers there. And look at the mid lane power here from Mr. Suns. Look at that combo. Again, did you see that combo? That Banish comes out. It will knock you up at the end of it. So they have to be very careful with Illumia's combo ability there. If they play into it, they're going to be in big trouble.
And all of the stuns, of course, combo well with Summer, who's sitting on the sideline Telenas, because any moment you're slow, any moment you're stunned, the Telenas can just lay in damage, but Moonwan isn't waiting for that on the Richter as he annihilates Zader in the top lane.
What a play there. You can see why the Richter is so powerful. The burst damage he does, his ultimate, he marks his target as well and does true damage once the mark is consumed. So you got to be very careful and not try to be in a lasting fight against a Richter because of the amount of burst that he has.
Well, here's the fight a little bit closer. There's Getris diving in with the drone drop. The Richter goes in as well. Banish does land. Shiny's gone. Lemon Tricks is gone. That's a lot of damage found, and they're not done yet. Moonwan tried to dive behind the tower to pick up Dexter.
Yeah, that was amazing there. The flicker engages. You see everyone use their flickers to engage and secure these kills. 3-0 already with Moonwan getting 2 kills. He's level 4 now. When he turns level 4, that ultimate is up and it does so much damage because of the true damage it does once he stacks up that passive of his there. And that's going to be very dangerous and they have to watch out. But you can see the rotation speed of the Richter and the Crick Neck. That's what's scary for Toyota Diamond against XD here. They're able to rotate very quickly and then pressure objectives in the lanes.
You thought this Richter was scary. Wait until he's up-leveled. Wait until he's 2 levels ahead of everyone else on the map. Then he's going to be terrifying. And again, Zader is suffering. There's that ult used. Zader is very low. Knocked down to half HP, but there's no strong chase.
Yeah, there's no XD's not ganking the Telenas. I'm very surprised that she's very weak. So she's not that mobile. So they need to be able to gank her and shut her down to get back into the game here.
Right now they're just trying for this Abyssal Dragon. However, there's the piercing shot landing through. Shiny knocks very low. Cataclysm will land the stuns. No kills are found. Only Ishleton's will fall.
Yeah, that was an insane combo there. The Mina came in with the Death Sith and then the Dark Dominion and then the stun coming from Summer from the Telenas. However, they were not able to kill Shinex because that's exactly what Shinex wants to do. He is the tank. He absorbed all that damage and was able to run away and survive.
Metamorphosis to knock Summer back. They do get the Abyssal, and actually Shining might be able to grab Summer, who's down to half HP. There's the ultimate. It will land. Magic Prism isn't enough. The Matrix of Woe is doing damage, but Summer will be safe. And now the Mina of Ishaldens will push forth just to distract while Mr. Suns presses this mid lane tower.
Yeah, wow, what a play there. They almost get the kill on to Summer, but they don't. And really good job at XT though. They're playing much better this game. Getting an Abyssal Dragon is pretty good for them. They're behind, about 1.5k gold. LM and Trix here was able to get a kill as well. So that's a big improvement from last game, because last game they had 0 kills. There's only 1 kill in the 4-minute mark. Looking not bad for XT.
Mr. Suns back to the mid lane just to farm up. Will XT try and scrape out some gold? They'll do that, picking up the Spirit Sentinel, keeping the gold much closer, but that's a great Cataclysm combo. Summer and Ishaldens pick up the damage, and it's another kill to TDC. Yeah,
TDC, again, just playing so... Look at this engage, my god.
You can't stand that far forward, Dexter, and he's going to get burned down. Now Zader will flee. The tree is safe behind the tower, but that tower itself is very low.
Yeah, one thing that you notice with Richter there, his first ability there, if he's in the bush, it's a knock-up. And then if he's in the river, the dash gains an extra range. So you see, he came from the bush, was able to land that knock-up and secure that kill, and then also comboed it with his ultimate there. And basically, once he executes it and has that burst true damage out, it's very hard for any opponent to survive against that kind of combo from Richter.
Ishaldens and TDC are trying to threaten here, and I like this from TDC. Though they're ahead, they're playing safe. They don't challenge 2v4. They're backing out. They're playing aware that XD are stacking the bottom side of the map, and that's why this rotate's coming through towards the mid and top.
Yeah, you can see that they're doing pretty well. They are not giving as many deaths as they did the last game. So XD is holding it in there, and Trix is playing a lot better on this Linus as well.
Great Mina play, though, from Ishaldens. Going in, landing the Dark Dominion, flickering out, just stalling out so this Abyssal Dragon can be picked up. I believe they just counted it out of range. They need this burst, but they have it. TDC will get it, and in the meantime, Moonwand Strike 1v2 his ult will land. Nature's Realm is not enough to keep him chained, and he's got the backup of the Mina. TDC get a kill and back out. Now going for the recommit. Moonwand will be safe, and a Metamorphosis is forced from Shining.
Yeah, that was an interesting Metamorphosis. What they need to do is they have to protect Trix. The Lindis is very weak against Richter. Richter is such a good, counter to the Lindis, because Lindis likes to fight around bushes. Well, guess what? Richter loves the bushes as well. He has the movement speed in the river, and that combo and the knockout ability. He can easily take a Lindis out.
Well, Summer is going to burn down this tower in the meantime. Ishaldens can land this stun onto Dexter, but instead it's the Banish and Summer to follow. You don't need extra damage. The Eagle Eye is enough, and Moonwand comes through as well, leaping from the bush for an extra pick.
Oh my goodness, you can see the amount of burst and the engage and the gap closing abilities of the Richter here. They have to get vision on him, because if they don't know where Richter is and he's able to get onto Lindis or any of the squishy heroes, they're in big trouble. This one Muon is known to play. Even with his Scud, he did the same thing, and look at the burst. Oh my goodness.
And there's the flank. Dark Dominion will land. Jaire's screwed. That was so well done.
Yeah, Get Rich jumping in there with the burst damage, and then Lindos coming in there with the Dark Dominion. Mr. Sun's following up, and then they re-engage. A Terrifying Plague is what seals the deal, and Jaire then falls. The combo and the sequencing from TDC is so solid right now. They're a team that has a lot of synergy, and they're such an offensively focused team. And look at these rotations here. They're doing such a good job just constantly farming and feeding themselves. 9-1 now, and 22,000 gold lead versus 16,000.
And they keep building it by threatening this jungle, and I know I have a thing where I only talk about support players, but Ishaldens is blowing my mind right now on this Mina.
Yeah, the Dark Dominions and the Death Sites have just been on point every single time. The Bennett and Crash is not even able to really kind of use of their tankiness and combos to hold off the front line here. And TDC is just doing such an amazing job of getting around to the back line and catching opponents off guard.
Moonwon will think better of the hard commit. I think he actually might have just reset that Sage Golem. Mr. Suns does pick it up nonetheless. TDC are getting a bit sloppy, leaving Mr. Suns all alone, focusing down this Abyssal in the meantime. But they're far enough ahead, it doesn't really matter, I suppose.
Yeah, and Summers is going to start to really scale along with the Crickneck. You notice that all their heroes scale really well. The Richter, the Crickneck, the Tel'Anis. I mean, once they get their items, look at that. The Rank Breaker, the Manto Ray finished. You know, the Boom. They have Enchanted Kicks, Orb Magi completed, as well as Frosty's Revenge with Lumia. So Lumia has a lot of CC now with Frosty's Revenge. And look at that, Clash Sanctity and Slick Slings on the Tel'Anis. She is pretty fed as well and can do so much damage against towers.
Moonwon and the rest will be grouped up on split sides of the map. They summon the Drake in mid, they wait near the Spirit Sentinel to see if they can catch anyone out. That was a very smartly executed strategy.
And they're going to continue to invade the jungle and take the jungle away potentially here, but that Golem is going to reset. Trix is going to secure it with that punish, and Linda's coming in there. Gotta be a little careful here, because that's the tanks that they're messing around with. And you don't want to waste too many abilities on the tanks.
Mina, though, can do the same, and if any focus comes through, they'll do it. Drop Dark Dominion, Shiny will survive. Again, the target of focus is the Crash, and again he lives. Zader, though, in the meantime, you can't say the same. Summer flickers underneath the tower for the pick. Shiny in the mid lane, needs to run. Moonwon for the kill, cannot find it. Dexter is in trouble, though, and he'll get that one as TDC push for the high ground.
Yeah, that was such a crazy engage from top lane. Look at the mid lane as well. This might be the game, TJ. Look at the damage coming from Summer on this Tel'Anis.
That is the game. TDC take game 2 in a 2-0 victory, cleaning up the core.
And congratulations to Toyota Diamond Cobra taking a decisive game 2 and also game 1 against XD. XD will have to go back to the drawing board. They did do better in game 2, but once TDC hit the mid-game power spike, Summer got his damage items. They all got tier 3, 2 tier 3 damage items. They just took it away. So offense has worked out so well. The aggressive play from this team from Thailand here really showing why Thailand is one of the most feared regions in Arena of Valor.
I'm worrying about projecting too much emotionally onto the players, but getting to look at those Toyota Diamond Cobra players and seeing exactly how unperturbed they were, that was everyday business, Jeff. They showed up, they did their job, they're going home and collecting their paycheck. That was insane.
Yeah, and you can see XD there. They're not looking pretty good facial expression wise. You know, they're kind of thinking about the match, looking down. You know, the body language says it all. They were just completely outmatched. But look at the sportsmanship coming from TDC here. That's a team you got to be afraid of. I mean, their entire squad, everyone played so well. Get Rish, Mr. Suns. Oh my goodness, you got to watch out. Moonwon is especially, I think, the star player. His side lane play is just so fun to watch. He was such a key factor. I mean, he had an OP hero. Let's not forget that. Richter is just so strong. But Moonwon, his engages and how he kind of gets fed and leverages that lead to outplay his opponents is phenomenal to watch.
And that he had a swagger as well. Did you see that on the stage? I don't blame him at all. Well, that'll be all for this game. XD do still have one more game to play, so there's an opportunity they still make it out of the Stage 1 groups, but it would need to be perfect. There's your end game stat line, and I do believe that says it all. Summer and Moonwon carrying the game with 5 and 4 kills respectively. This one's not perfect, an improvement for XDG, as they managed to pick up a kill. Lemon Tricks, their jungle, responsible for that one.
Definitely. You can see the amount of damage. Again, Thailand, I love seeing their damage. Get Rich, although it gets ahead and gets the team ahead, the damage is split kind of evenly across Summer, Mr. Suns, and Moonwon. Those are the three there, and you add in Get Rich, they're all damage dealers. I noticed that Thailand plays 4 damage dealers and 1 kind of support that is an offensive support too. So not very tanky, honestly, in terms of their composition. So they focus a lot more on their offense versus their defense. And look at XD. They have 2 pretty tanky heroes, right? The Kresh and the Benneth. But in the end, it just didn't work out for them.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to go to a break. We'll be back in a moment with the next game of the AIC, as covered here on the English stream. We do have next Overclockers versus Tomago, which is actually very exciting for me because I have a big soft spot for Tomago. They represented the Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines region due to visa issues. They came through and ended up representing their region in the AWC and overperformed and looked really good despite being, I think, the third place team overall. Now they qualified. They fought their way through to the AIC and earned their slot here. And I can't wait to see them going up against Overclockers from Vietnam. And we get our first taste of the strength of both those regions coming into this year.
Yeah, I can't wait to see tomorrow. They played at the PvP Esports Championship in Singapore, where I was able to cast and watch that team play. They have picked up a jungler from their arch rival Resurgence, actually, Z's, and Tainted has moved to mid lane. Tainted was one of the most feared players overall, and he is very well known in Singapore. So Tomago is going to be a very fun team to watch. And again, OCS, definitely not a pushover as well. They're Vietnam's #3 team. That's going to be an exciting matchup to watch, guys. So stay tuned. We'll be back with that matchup.
Don't go far. When we return, like we said, Overclockers versus Tomago. And I'm going to... You know what, Stewie?
Yeah, what's up, TJ?
I think we need to start a new thing. You know how during the entire regular season, Jump always made you make predictions right before the game? I'm going to preempt him. This is now the AIC. Your predictions immediately before games, they won't do any more. Give me a prediction right now for the next set.
OCS. Overclockers will take it, and I think probably 2-0 against Tomago. Even though Tomago is an amazing team from Singapore, they placed 4th at the PvP Championships. They lost to Alpha X dominantly, a huge loss, and also Chinese Taipei Monster Shield. And Vietnam is a very strong region with that I think will do very well against Singapore.
Well, don't go far. We'll be right back with that after this.
Rồi khi được khoác lên mình chiếc áo đội tuyển quốc gia, tôi hiểu rằng đó
Quý vị và các bạn khán giả thân mến, và ngay bây giờ sẽ là một trận đấu đang được mong chờ nhất trong ngày hôm nay. Trận đấu đầu tiên có sự góp mặt của một đại diện nước chủ nhà Việt Nam. Xin được giới thiệu Overclockers, và đối thủ của họ là một đại diện rất đáng gờm đến từ khu vực MSP, đội tuyển Tomago. Và ngay bây giờ chúng ta sẽ cùng đến với trận đấu cùng bình luận viên Quốc Tuấn và Thanh Tùng. Xin mời.
Welcome back. My name is TJ, joined by Zooey J. Once again, for anyone who's just joined us, we did have some technical delays at the beginning of the stream that interfered with our planned broadcast. As a result, I had to pick up the broadcast, and it's a little bit messy because I am still working it all out. So,
but it's
please bear
okay,
with me.
TJ. You're doing a good job.
Thanks, bud. Please bear with me. Things are going to be a little bit shaky for day one. I promise you, day number 2, things will be in control. More in control than my ranked games, and I had those pretty under control. We're continuing, though, with my personal most exciting match of the day. It's going to be Overclockers from Vietnam versus Tomago. Tomago, of course, representing Singapore here. They did so at the AWC as well, and Sui, you got to hang out with them in Singapore when you did the PvP live event there, right?
Yes, I mean, they're such a dynamic team. They play really weird compositions too, so they could have a kind of a trump card. I mean, they pulled out in the PvP Esports Championship in Singapore an Ignis, Batman, Zephyr, Thane, Gilder. TJ, I know you love Gilder. Gilder actually came out from this team. So they actually draft very unpredictably. They don't follow any set pattern. So I feel that's their advantage. And Tainted One used to be their main jungler, but now he is the mid laner. So he's the scariest player on the team. Z's came from Resurgence, formerly a jungler for Resurgence, is one of the best junglers in their region, and now he's their jungler. So I feel like this team that they put together is like a super team from Singapore. And BBTY, don't forget about him. This guy has an amazing and nasty Valheim. I mean, he literally won V4 with his Valheim at the Singapore PvP championships there. So they have dominated the Singapore Arena Valor scene for a very long time. They're the winner of the Valor Cup 3 Grand Finals. But they did place 4th at the PvP championships in Singapore, where Thailand and Chinese Taipei and other regions came ahead of them. So they're going to face an uphill battle against OCS or Overclockers here, because Vietnam is one of the tier 1 and strongest regions here in this competition.
I'd like to give you a breaking report on Team Synergy. I was just watching Overclockers, and there was a high 5 that was asked for and not delivered. I don't know if I can make any strong predictions off of that, but I'm going to. I think Tomago absolutely could upset this.
Yeah, they're a talented team, and you're going to go against my prediction. I predict Overclockers taking this series, but it's not going to be an easy one for them because they are Vietnam's number 3 team. They did play 2nd in overall in the regular season of AOG in Vietnam. And they lost to Swing Phantom 1-3 in the semifinals pretty decisively. So their playoff performance doesn't really match their regular season performance is the key here. So can they show up against a very dominant Singaporean team?
It's stage 1 of the AIC. This is your opportunity to show up if you are Overclockers. And they'll start things off with standard bans over on Tomago, getting rid of
Richter is
Alsu
open.
and Ignis, but this leaves Richter open because the ban was Mina Valheim from Overclockers.
Yeah, again, very good draft strategy already. Look at that. Taking away key heroes like the Valheim, right? And then forcing an Alsu and Ignis ban that leaves the Richter open for them. That's a very smart draft by them on blue side.
Yeah, you see, this is an immediate follow-through. I quite like it from Tomago because they have the Crash. The Richter is going to be less of a threat. That is the second best disengaged support you can get.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention, the roster, KZP is playing mid lane. He is their mid laner that I saw in Singapore, the PvP championships. So Tainted will be playing jungle. Again, he's actually the scariest player from Team Tomago here that everyone respects. So this is looking like they're going to use that roster, and Z's will not be playing for them. And KZP, again, a very solid mid laner. His Crixie and Liliana has been phenomenal, but Liliana is going to be denied from him there because it's picked up by OCS.
Overclockers getting the Liliana. This means that you're going to have to get creative, and like you said, Tomago do that. They're currently threatening the Superman, which is something we've been predicting, or at least I've been predicting, coming into the meta for a while.
Yeah, Superman might be picked here. They're hovering over and thinking about him. It's interesting that they picked him. Maybe they think that he could work into the Richter. Remember that Richter has his second ability that can deflect and basically dodge any type of CC. He can absorbs the stun slows. He absorbs all type of CC using his second ability when he times it correctly. So Superman could be that kind of hero that has multiple CCs to counterplay against the Richter and push him away from the carries, because Richter, again, has so much gap closing ability. If he gets next to your carry, you're in trouble. So Superman is the person that can push him away and CC him so that your carries can be safe. So it'll be very interesting to watch the Superman versus Richter matchup here.
It's an interesting theory, at least. We'll see how it plays out. The bans get underway for phase number 2 of the draft. It's Kriknak, the jungler assassin, banned by Tamago, and Overclockers get rid of a Marja.
Yeah, I do like the Kriknak ban because you want to put Kriknak and Richter together. They're just super bursty. And then you have a Liliana on top of that. Yeah, that's a pretty scary combination there. So I do like how they banned away the Kriknak so that Lindis has more of a survivability. Because Kriknak, Richter are just such good counters into the Lindis there. And the Cross will be banned as well. Again, they're doing a really good job of target banning the composition that they do not want to play against.
We'll have to see if Tamago can build something they want to play into, though. What are they still missing? Mid lane and side lane. How do you see them building their composition to shut down the Richter? Is it going to be maybe the Lubu with a little bit more brawling potential?
Yeah, I think the key against Richter is he likes to build like a Mantle of Raw, Rank Breaker type of build, and he's not that tanky actually, because Mantle of Raw gives you armor but doesn't give you a lot of health. So if they can basically burst him down and save and the Lindis and make sure that he's not able to 1v1 the marksman or the mage, then Tamago has a good chance here. But Violet is going to be picked up. And we know Violet Liliana together is such a strong combo late game, but they're hovering Finnick as well. So
Silly. Normally when you ban out the Alistar, like Overclockers did, you do that because you want to play an assassin jungle. And Alistar is so devastating because he has so many stuns that many of the assassins that were banned out by Tamago would create trouble. Instead, though, both Fennec and the Violet they were hovering are ranged junglers.
Yeah, it's interesting. Finnick is going to have a very fast clear. Pyrrha is going to work really well with the Malik and Liliana and the stuns and the Hammer Cyclone from the Finnick. And also Richter has a AoE stun as well. And Pyrrha is going to increase his survivability significantly with her Healing Light there. But this comp is something I've never seen play before. So it'll be interesting to see how it's going to work. The comp coming from Tamago is very different as well. Superman is not seen a lot of play, and he's going to have to work well with the Kresh and the Lubu combo because they have the stun from the Metamorphosis and then the knockup from the Red Stallion of Lubu there, and then the Raz being picked up here. That's a very good pickup against the Liliana. So bursty and so popular in the Southeast Asia region.
I said that this was going to be the sickest match of the day, and I stand by that statement. Tamago is the wild card from Singapore, and Overclockers is an unstable giant from Vietnam. If there's any match where an upset's going to happen, it is here.
It's definitely going to be here, and you know, the funny thing is Chihiro is a phenomenal Raz player, but they actually put him on Liliana instead. But he's a very ambitious, high bursty type of player, so his over-aggression might put OCS in a tough spot. But if the team is with him, along with the Richter and the Finnick and the Malik and the Pyrrha, and they play aggressive with Chihiro, they'll be in good shape.
Well, it does look like we're getting into it. Game number 1 between Overclockers from Vietnam and Tamago from Singapore. You made a prediction. You said Overclockers 2-0. It's not even close. I'm going to take a moment. I know it's unfair, but I'm running the stream, so I get to call it. I'm going to say Tamago take a map at the very least. I'm going to side with them overall. I think Tamago win 2-1.
I think you might be correct there, because one thing that Tamago does have over Overclockers, they have on-stage experience. They've been on that stage on an international level. And this is the first time that Overclockers has competed at such an international level. But TJ, they have the home crowd behind them. They are the team from Vietnam. You can't underestimate that. You can't underestimate the home crowd advantage. They're playing for their country, TJ. They're playing in their home country. They have to win.
I didn't realize until just now that they have drums live in stadium to play along with the music during draft. That's actually kind of sick.
Yeah, the production value, the live event experience is just phenomenal. The art, look at the background there, the backdrop, the lighting effects. It's one of the best stages I've seen here for the Arena Valley International. I thought the one from Korea last year, when they had the AIC in Korea in November 2007, that was an amazing stage as well, produced by OGN, but this stage is special and very unique. I love the setup here, and with the more grand the stage is, TJ, the more pressure it puts on the players actually. So it may work against OCS because it's their first time on stage.
It's not just literally a massive stage, it's also figuratively. The highest level of Arena of Valor competition just kicked off today. We're into game 4 part of it, game 1 between Overclockers and Tamago.
Yeah, and the player to watch on Overclockers is going to be Chihiro here, and definitely K on this Richter. And look at the aggressive play already with the Finnick here. They're going to be able to steal away some of the jungle.
And I'm a bit worried for Tamago because there isn't an immediate response. They're not counter-invading with their jungler. Now they begin it, but it might be a bit late.
Yeah, but I do love that 4-man rotation, though. They 4-man rotate to make sure that Tainted is able to secure that jungle and trade. So far, Tamago is doing a good job with their rotations to basically trade and counter what Overclockers is doing.
Els may be in trouble though. The Crash player caught out. He's got enough HP, it's not a big deal. I really like this Lubu into Richter match. We don't yet know how many of the Richter matchups play at the high level, but I think that's a really smart lane. Yeah,
I think level 4 Lubu is going to outplay the Richter because of his Conqueror. It's going to give him so much sustain and lifesteal that he can basically out-trade against the Richter. But one thing he's got to be careful of is the true damage that Richter does. He's actually super bursty.
He will be in trouble. PBTY actually doesn't yet have that level 4 ultimate, and as a result, there is no lifesteal. Tainted has to sit there and watch as Overclockers take first blood.
Yeah, again, you gotta be careful. When he comes from the bush, he has extra abilities coming out with that knock-up from the bush, and that's what he used to secure that kill. And he actually was behind. He's 1 level behind his opponent there. Look at this already. 4-man rotation on top of this tower. They're going to take potentially first tower, but the wave has just fallen, and they're not going to be able to.
And now Tamago might have an opportunity for a response. There's Els looking for it. Not quite the ultimate from Metamorphosis, but they will have damage. Jason in as well. That's big damage as BBTY launches in with the Red Stallion. They've got Turtle so low. Dua as well in the meantime. Tainted does go down though. Car manages to find one, and he's still standing strong. KZP almost goes down as well. That's disastrous for Tamago.
Yeah, Tamago did a good job of that counter rotation, though. They almost caught them off guard. They were so low. Turtle almost fell, and then Ka was able to get a key clutch kill from the bush again in the back line, and then they were able to then trade and get the kill onto him. But so far, you can see that Tamago is holding their own here against Overclockers.
More pressure coming through. Els in trouble as the Riki shot does connect. Isno needs to hold the front lines, and he's going to get poked decently. No kills found in the skirmish, though.
Yeah, OCS might be able to try to get this dragon potentially, because we know Finnick is so good at taking over objectives so fast here. And look at, they're pushing out the Superman here. Jason is going to have to back off. Turtle is there. They're going to take this Risen Seagull and potentially try to take the dragon here, because he has both the buffs. This Finnick is ready to go. He's going to start power spiking pretty soon here.
KZP will challenge the opposing mage in mid. Any pokes they can find will make this dragon fight a little bit easier to win. Els does have this Metamorphosis into the Malik. It's going to be tough, but there it is. Now the dragon will be secured. That went to Overclockers. The pressure comes through nonetheless. KZP finding big damage, but Thief's Mark detonates. He might as well be dead, and he is. Tainted will fall as well, and Overclockers sweep the fight.
Oh my god, look at that crowd just cheering and so excited. What a play by Dua. He secures the dragon, and the rotation the collapsing rotation of Tamago does not pay off. They're able to focus down the backline. A beautiful shock ultimate from Igno, securing the kill onto Tainted there, and they are now very ahead in this matchup because of that one play. Huge 2,000 cold lead and 4 kill lead as well, TJ.
Yeah, that was such a good team fight from Overclockers, and actually, Els might still be in trouble. The Thief's Mark detonation would stop his recall. There it is. Now they can just pick him off at their leisure. He's so screwed. Duma goes in with the Nature's Rally. That's good play. The heal from Els actually stalls things up. He might still live. Isno hard dives underneath the tower, and the trade comes through. A little bit greedy from Overclockers.
It was greedy, and Els did a good job. He used his heal at the right time, his aquatic shield barrier, to last long enough and then get a trade 1-1. And that's a good trade, because when you're behind, you want to trade evenly, and that's going to help them, again, take and basically distract Duo also falls in mid lane, so Tamago, they have a chance to get back in this game here after a decisive loss in that Dragon fight.
Those are the two players you can afford to lose, though.
Yeah, it is the Pyrrha who is the support. And look at the Jason there putting pressure against Turtle in the jungle. You can see Turtle has 2.7k gold to Lindis' 2.2 gold. So he is ahead jungle-wise against the Lindis. And building Scorching Wind, that means Tainted doesn't have that much damage right now. And you can see Finnick is building the Mr. Stabby. He's going to be able to stack up a lot of the damage from killing minions. And as a result, the Finnick is going to out-damage the Lindis in the mid-game because he's going to power spike a little sooner with the damage items that he's building.
And of course, we always talk about the jungle v jungle matchup, the mid v mid matchup. Those are what you're normally watching. Here I'll submit the Slayer lane match is very important as well. BBTY needs to be able to shut down this Richter. The game is all but over, and they do have Turtle caught out. He'll be able to Rolling Lightning to safety. Now Duo comes through as well with the heals. The Metamorphosis was spent already. They do not have Disengage. This is just a battle for wave clear now, and Tamago will not be able to hold on to this tower if anyone is able to get remotely close. It looks like they've stabilized for now, but here comes the second wave. Turtle just needs one good burst. BBTY will pop the Conquer and dive in. Nature's Rally is spent. He's got the Red Stallion. He's got pressure. Turtle's forced back. Now Jason comes through. They hold the tower.
Yeah, that was a key rotation from Jason there, coming to protect and do the burst damage onto Turtle. Now they can't take the tower because I don't know where KA was, but KA could have stayed there with them and continue the three-man rotation pressure and secure that top tower, but he rotates away and Jason coming in at the nick of time to save the tower, but it is so low, TJ. And look at the burst damage from Chihiro. Like I said, Chihiro versus KZP is going to be critical to see the amount of damage these mid laners are able to do, especially when we get towards late game soon.
We talked about the top tower, now the bottom tower. BBTY needs to hold. There's the shock landing. No ultimates this time. He's shut down. The tower will fall, and Overclockers continue to press onward.
Yeah, and look at that. The counter rotation from Tainted, along with his team, is not going to pay off for Tamago. They're going to lose another tower, which is devastating for them. This is not what they want right now.
Els needs to hold, and they need a response. Tainted is nearby, but he's going to be threatened. Car dives in. Good threat on him. Els, in the meantime, is just getting burned down by the cleave. He has to retreat. Even though he hasn't taken much damage, there's no way for him to stand in the front lines.
Yeah, Turtle is doing such a good job with these rolling lightning. They're using it to dodge key abilities and damage and ultimates there. And look at Jason. He's in huge trouble. He's going to have to back off here. But again, Turtle doing such a good job securing objectives and putting himself in a very good position every single time.
The mid tower will be taken. Good response will be found. Is knocked low. PBTY barely escapes. The Malik on the front lines does hold strong, and there is no strong response from Tamago yet.
Yeah, no strong response. Both, they could have went down, but they did a good job juggling the aggro. But look at Turtle. He's so ahead. Level 12. He is fed. And once he finishes his third tier 3 damage item, this Finnick is going to be so scary to deal with because his Thief's Mark is going to do so much burst damage. It'll basically half health a tower instantly once he activates the Thief's Mark. And he has the Rank Breaker and the Fafnir's Talon finished. He's going to finish his fourth tier 3 item with the damage that's stacked up from the Mr. Stabby, and that's going to be a very high burst damage Finnick.
Tainted is caught in the Nature's Rally. There's the stuns coming through. He needs to get out. He's their main source of damage, and he's down. Tamago just need to bail, and Els will fall as well before the fight's done. 3 kills found as KZP goes down as well. This could very well be game as Overclockers push through the mid lane. That is the high ground tower exposed.
Yeah, BBTY is in big trouble. He's going to activate Conquer. He's going to dive in there. But look at the healing light from this Pyrrha here, doing such a good job. They take the mid-ground tower, TJ. This could be the game. It's 5 versus 2 right now. Can they hold off long enough? KZP is about to come back, and Tainted just respawn. And very smart by Overclock because they're going to back off perfectly. Again, this team is just playing so well. There are 3 to 4-man rotations, and how they're comboing with each other is paying off dividends in these team fights.
And you can see every single time Overclockers are able to nail down the key focus. KZP and Tainted were the first to fall during that last fight, and that paid off so well. Now, actually, still under threat. KZP will be knocked low. BBTY as well. He needs to get out. He's got 2 charges of Red Stallion, and he's barely to safety.
Oh my goodness. Jason in the wrong spot. He gets so low by Turtle, and then they catch him off guard. They got to be very careful with that. But look at the damage from Turtle. He's taking out these towers like they're butter. They're butter sticks. He's finished Crash Sanctity.
This should be game. Is no in with the shock. Will tag. The core is under threat and properly taking damage. Car will take the front lines during this time, and that's more kills through to Overclockers as the team from Vietnam look to take their first game in front of the home crowd. They don't have waves, so this will take a moment, but there's no way to hold the defense, surely.
Yeah, Dua is doing such a good job, TJ. Healing lights are coming up every single time. They might finish the game here.
They very well should. We do unfortunately have some tech issues on my end. Give me a radio cast, Suey.
Yeah, Overclocker securing the game there. Look at that. They're proud to represent Vietnam with, look at the stamps. The flag is on their hands there. And look at that. They are happy. They're smiling. The crowd is going crazy and cheering for them. They feel great. This is their first win on the international stage here. Overclockers, the number 3 team from Vietnam there. Again, Duo really impressed me. His pure play, the timing of his Nature's Rally, using his ultimate to protect his team, and also the healing lights. The heals and sustains that were coming out was just so much that they were not... Tamago was not able to secure any kills. And the combo, the way that Ka would engage with the Richter here, again, they have to deny Richter from them because I feel like Richter is just so strong. He's so first pick worthy. Teams that allow Richter to go through, they have to have a good strategy against him because Ka really made a big difference in the top lane on that Richter.
Yeah, and we absolutely saw it. And there you go. In high quality now. Overclockers quite proudly securing their game 1 over Tamago. And, as we said, we predicted this to be a very close series. So far, they've shown that not to be the case.
Yeah, they have not, and my prediction is so true so far, TJ.
Yeah, you didn't say
but
too
look
well.
at Turtle. Look at Turtle, 408. You notice the duo there having 11 participation, but you notice a lot of the participation is 7, 8, 6. That just tells me that Overclockers has better synergy as a team, and as a result, they're able to capitalize against their opponents here with the mispositioning of some of the players like Jason sometimes with the Superman. So far, Overclocker's doing a great job.
Yeah, I've really liked getting to see more Richter. And I don't think we've seen a Richter lose yet. So I feel like maybe the teams that are not banning Richter are simply missing a trick.
Yeah, especially if you don't play Richter, because some regions, like for example the West regions, like EU, North America, don't have Richter out yet. So if he's not available and you don't play, just ban him, because you will know how to counterplay against an Ignis because he's available, right? So like let the Ignis through, or maybe even the Elsu if you know how to handle it, Elsu, and don't let the Richter through. And I think that the regions that don't have Richter, they need to really consider just banning him outright. And because if you don't know how to play against him and you don't know the hero and you don't have him on your server, then that is the right decision to make as a professional team on this stage. So, and we see Richter just doing so much outplay, counterplay potential in side lane to make. Look at this there. The knockoff from the bush comes out. He secures a kill on BBT. And BBTY is a fantastic side laner. He made a name for himself at the PvP Esports Championships.
Yeah, that was a dominant side lane victory, and you were kind of unsure about that. You said quite specifically you thought that the Lubu would win lane against the Richter, and we never saw that.
Yeah, and that's where they needed to focus down the Richter when he would go in and engage against Tainted there, because they need to protect Tainted. Whenever Tainted falls, Tamago cannot come back in the game because he is their damage dealer, and he's probably the best jungler in the Singapore region. So he's definitely very solid. But look at this fight here. The way that they're bunching up, it's a 4 versus 3, and they instantly get 3 kills there because they're able to group up and combo better than Tamago. So Tamago needs to go back to the drawing board and make sure they don't fall to the win condition, the combo sequencing from Overclockers here, because again, their team synergy is looking very solid.
There was a lot of emphasis from Tamago put on the Superman, and we really didn't see that Superman be a factor. That was kind of something that stood out to me. If we're going into this predicting that Superman is going to be the carry for the team, is going to be the reason why the team wins, they absolutely need to be able not only to get the Superman fed up, but also get the Superman useful. And I don't think he ever was able to help in a fight.
Yeah, Suran didn't really make a difference because he's got to wait for them to bunch up and engage really hard, and then follow up with the Crash Metamorphosis. And we didn't see that combo really come out from Tamago. And they're a flexible team, TJ. Like I said, they will change their draft. I predict the next game here, game 2, they're going to completely draft heroes that other teams have not really seen play very often. And that's what I like about Tamago is they're a very diverse and flexible team. The Superman being coming out here, we saw them play Thane as well. Maybe the Thane might show up here because they really know how to play Thane very well. And I think that they need to get BBTY on Valheim. His Valheim is just fantastic. So I think that's going to be critical. It was banned against them. So if they can get the Valheim on BBTY and ban away, they should ban Richter and ban Elsu out if they don't play that. But Richter definitely needs to be banned if they don't play Richter so that they do not give it to Overclockers. And they might have a chance to come back in game 2 here.
Well, we'll have to see. They have an opportunity. They have a chance. And for Tamago, it needs to start now. What, if you had to highlight something, what is one character that they can absolutely pull out that will counter, in your mind, the Richter?
Yeah, Richter is very hard to play against. He has so many gap closers. His second ability absorbs and dodges a kind of CC. So I think to play against him, you need a character that's able to push him away and burst him down if he comes in there. And I think Scud is very good. Scud can charge up his Power Glove and do a lot of bursts against a Richter. But also his Wild Beast Furry, he can use it to push away the Richter once his second ability is down and not able to dodge any CC. The key is you need to help your carry get away from Richter, because if he is able to stack and activate his true damage from his ultimate, your carry's dead. So you need heroes like a Scud that can counterplay against the Richter and also be just as bursty to fight back. And I feel like that may work, but we have not seen anything really work well against the Richter. He can beat a Bennett. He can beat so many heroes in the side lane. So maybe we might see that in AIC once we get to see the other top teams play against the Richter. We may see that, but I think Roxy will be good as well because again, you cannot dodge for Agni's grasp. So it's uncounterable in terms of that. You can use Purify to remove it, and that's the only thing that can counter it. But if Agni grasp lands on Richter, he's dead. So I feel like Roxy would work really well as well. Scud, Roxy, and probably Kilgroth. Kilgroth late game can destroy him because if he comes in like that and Kilgroth just attack speeds him to death, then it would work really well for him. And maybe even Omen, but Omen is constantly banned in this so far from what we've seen.
How would you feel about an Aurum? Because we always say that Aurum beats almost any melee in the sideline in the support role.
Yeah.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah. Yeah, she fell off the meta completely, TJ. We saw Aurum played in the side lane. We see her play support, but now she's not even picked. She was first banned, first picked before in the Western regions and even in the other regions outside. But she's fell off because she's not mobile. But I think she's, like you said, she's a great defense, though, against assassin comps that want to go in like a Scud or Richter. If she lands her snare, they're dead. They're dead because the team can just focus them down. So I feel like that is a good counter that could potentially work. So maybe a team will put that out.
Yeah, maybe we will get to see that here. I certainly hope so. We're into the draft phase for game number 2 between Tamago and Overclockers. Their chance at redemption for Tamago, a team that we predicted to be much more close, and Overclockers perhaps a second chance to perform in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, they definitely have the home crowd. They had the momentum from game 1. They won it. They were happy, smiling. Richter should be banned here. If they don't play it, definitely take him away. Ooh, Elsu will be banned here, so it may force a Richter ban from OCS because Tamago might know how to play Richter, so they have to ban Richter here. Or they can take the risk and see if Tamago knows how to play Richter and potentially hand it over, assuming they don't play and they won't pick it. But I think Richter ban would be very smart here.
The Elsu ban will come through. I don't think
winning Bennett? What?
Ooh, Richter allowed through. Does Tamago play him though? Do they know how to play this character?
They do. Oh my goodness. That's huge. That's a big risk that Overclock just took. They just hand over Richter. And if Bennett's being banned, he was even banned he was even picked or banned the last game. So why is Bennett being banned? That doesn't make sense to me. And that's a little risky from overclockers here.
Could it be overclockers trying to, maybe they have a theory on a Richter counter and they want to test it out here in the group stage?
Yeah, maybe. And I think that the burst is the answer against him. They may, like you said, pick the Arm. If they can get Roxy, that's also good. Roxy, Omen, Arm are, they have ultimates that just lock opponents down completely. Arm and Agni's Grasp and Roxy, their ultimates last 2.5 seconds, the snare, right, and the Agni Grasp. And then Omen's ultimate lasts 5 seconds. So I do see Omen potentially being banned because if Omen is able to lock down the Richter, he's dead. He's mincemeat. So that's going to be the key here if they can secure the Omen against the Richter. But I feel like he will be banned in the next phase here if he's not picked.
Ooh, Valheim as well. Suey, it's your two favorite characters.
Yeah, BBTY. This is looking
now.
Yeah, you're right. This is looking very good. And KZP on the Raz. This guy was phenomenal on Raz at Singapore in the PvP Esports Championships. And BBTY, that's his best hero, in my opinion, is Valheim. He made a name for himself at the competition, literally 1v4ing an entire team. It was just as Valheim. So watch out for that. And I feel like what overclockers will run here, they may run potentially an assassin comp and do a Lindis sidling. We also see that happen as well. Some top tier teams will do that and run an assassin comp like a Cricknack that can easily destroy and blow up the squishy Raz, Richter kind of composition styles. So let's see if that does come up. But they're going to go ahead with the Kresh here. Kresh has been very popular as a support for a lot of these teams. I think he's been picked every single time.
Yeah, I really like Kresh as a disengage tool. I'm a big Kresh fan because I worry a lot about strong team engagements, and anytime you just have a no thank you button, I'm a fan. We do get into the ban phase though, we're moving forward, and it will be your Pura banned out for overclockers. That's kind of interesting because I wouldn't have said a Pura was the obvious support to be picked by Tamago, who are currently lacking a tanky frontline.
Yeah, they don't have a tanky front line, and Chognar being banned is very interesting too. I don't think they are yeah, that's really very interesting if they do ban out the Chognar here.
We'll have to see if they stick to it. We continue on focusing. The Cricknack will be banned out. You were saying specifically that you thought overclockers would be looking for a Cricknack, looking for an assassin comp perhaps to shut down the Richter. And they disagree. They'll ban out the assassin jungle, leaving Tainted One and the rest of overclockers, or Tamago, sorry, with one more ban.
Yeah, we see the Cricknack being banned out. That's a very smart one. Is Omen going to be banned here? Which side laner are they going to pick, or are they going to side lane bans make the most sense right now because the support has been picked already, and Marja will be taking off the map.
Marja removed. This now leaves overclockers with options. You were saying that they perhaps needed some dive burst. I would agree with that assessment. They also, of course, still need a jungler. Maybe the solution to Richter is a Violet. Kite back, use the Fennec, stay safe at distance, and allow the Richter to play frontline as much as he wants, so long as you can play him safe.
Yeah, that could work out, and that's going to be 4 pretty solid damage dealers there. They do pick the Violet. And Tainted has a nasty and really good Violet. He also can play Assassins really well, but Cricknack is denied from him. So I do see the Violet being picked up by Tamago here. And Aurum, like you called it, TJ, Aurum is going to show in the draft here.
I feel so right! The Aurum coming through gives them a good option to deny dive, and I feel glad to see it. Now that the Aurum can maybe stop the Richter, you're looking at protecting your jungle. If that's the case, I think this will be the Lindis jungle. I think that's probably just going to stay in the jungle, and we're looking for a second side lane.
Yeah, if they get Arm Roxy or Arm Omen, that is actually super scary because that's 2 massive lockdowns there. And then you have the Kresh and the Liliana Binding Light Stun. That's going to be devastating to catch anyone out. And you notice they're not playing any tanky heroes. I mean, look at Tamago's lineup. It's extremely squishy. There's literally no front line. Alice is a backline support. Yeah, so they got to be very... They got a combo. They got to one be engaging.
but they have strong engage. This is a decent comp because though they have no frontline, they now have two distinct engage tools, the Sunshine Hissy Fit combo from the Alice and the Flying Spear from their jungle Slims. Because they have that double engage, potentially, along with the stuns of the Valheim, it doesn't matter as much that they don't have a dedicated frontline, and that may in fact be very smart playing into an Aurum Crash duo. It's going to be very hard to get within melee range at the start of fights.
Yeah, like I talked about, TJ, the Omen is going to come out. That is two massive lockdowns. That's really scary, and they have no tank to really get in front because you can counter Omen and Aurum as long as you kind of, you know, get in front and block the Omen from landing his ultimate on your carry there, and that's something that they're going to have to do. Richter is not going to be able to dodge you know, the snare, for example, using his second ability there. Once the snare lands, you're done. You're snared. So that's going to be very interesting to see how Tamago's going to play because they have to be very careful, but also they have a very offensive comp. So if they get out of position and get snared or get locked down by Omen, they're in big trouble.
This is a very squishy team comp coming out from Tamago, reminiscent of Bubble Team or AHQ, the Korean World Champions. If you can make an all squishy tank comp work, it works very, very well. The problem is it relies on perfect coordination, and that was actually something you highlighted as missing from Game 1.
Yeah, they have to fix that coordination because they have a lot of damage potential with Richter, Raz, the Valheim, but I feel like they're going to do better this game because BBTY is on this Valheim. Just watch how he plays the Valheim. It's so aggressive, and I feel like that's going to give them an advantage because right now the side lane matchup, the Valheim does come out ahead here against the Arm and against the Omen because he's ranged and they're melee, so they're not going to be able to win against Valheim, especially in the early to mid game phases. Until the Omen hits level 4, though, Omen can easily kill the Valheim if he locks him down with the Death's Embrace there, because Valheim's going to be stuck in that Death's Embrace for 5 full seconds. People forget why Omen was so OP in past international championships, because he was actually released in the AIC back in November of 2017. He was an AIC hero release that wasn't even available back then. So I can't wait to see how they're going to leverage this Omen.
Doesn't he still have the AIC tag on him?
Yes, he does. Yeah.
There you go. The AIC hero comes to life in the AIC. a year later, he's still strong. We'll get into game number 1 between Overclockers, or game number 2, sorry, between Overclockers and Tamago. Game number 1, of course, went to Overclockers in dominant fashion. Game 2, Tamago shifted up during the draft. They go for an all-in squishy, stun-focused composition. We'll have to see how it works out.
And you can see they're both playing. Look at Overclockers' defensive formation there. They're doing a really good job playing defense here, but look at Tamago. They're the ones aggressing, but 4-man versus 4-man, they're going to be able to hold this off.
Yeah, just poke for now. Overclockers weren't the ones playing defensive at the start of that first match, so that is a notable difference.
This is actually good for Overclockers because Tamago just wasted their time. They're not able to secure anything, and Lindis is ahead. She's able to secure the buff first, and look at this rotation from Tamago. They're going to try to secure this back, but again, Overclockers is doing a really good job.
Overclockers will press very aggressive, like you say. They do get the buff. KTP tries to find some poke, but will not succeed. Yeah,
they're going to basically get 3 buffs there. Overclockers will get 3 buffs already. Look at the rotation clear from Turtle on this Lindis. This is not good for the Stims. He's going to be behind, and now Overclockers will be able to start putting pressure against them once Lindis scales and when Arm reaches level 4. That's going to be critical.
I said it was good they changed up their strategy. It was good we were seeing a more aggressive look from Tamago. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. That, though, is the CC combo we were talking about. Both stuns land. It's an Aurum, though. It's so hard to find the kill. There is the final glaive, and Jason will get the pick. First blood and second blood to Tamago as a pick comes through in mid as well.
Yeah, KA missed the death back in there. If he landed it, they probably could have killed BBTY, but like I said, the Valheim on Tamago is paying off. That's a second kill already for them.
That's insane damage, and the CC stuns we were talking about. We said only Bubble Team, only AHQ have made these combo stun, squishy focused comps work in international play. Now we're seeing another entry, Tamago, making it happen.
Yeah, and I said to watch out for BBTY's Valheim, but guess what? It's not BBTY on the Valheim. It is Jason, and he is just popping off. 3 kills. They're in the lead after losing the first few rotations. Tamago is looking so good. Like I said, that Valheim is going to be a big difference maker for them because they're so comfortable playing at Valheim competition. And I love KZP on this Raz as well. He has a very aggressive Raz, and that's going to work really well for them. Tainted. The combo of potential that they have from the Alice, the Valheim with the Slims is going to be really solid.
Usno will be stunned out. Jason still finding value. This Flying Spear, though, does go wide. Now the team of Tamago will take the Sour almost uncontested, and it's all on Overclockers to find the contest.
Yeah, the first tower being taken on this early in the game. Things are looking great on the Dragon side, but they have to protect this mid-cap tower because it may fall here potentially.
It is under a lot of threat. Half HP remains on it. KZP will go through, though. That's a good duo. PBTY entering as well, but he's chained down. KA lands a great Death's Embrace. He's stunned out in trait, though. And Isno, their tank is so low, they need that Metamorphosis just to survive because Jason has been whittling away at their HP all the while. This is working beautifully for Tamago.
Yeah, Tamago playing so well there. They're able to get Duo really low. They don't lose their mid-ground tower. Then they out-trade Overclockers, rotate and take the Dragon immediately. Things are looking so solid. Almost a 2,000 gold lead for them. This is a complete reversal from game 1, TJ.
This is a complete reversal, and it's come off the back of a much better draft and a much more directed draft. It really did feel like Tamago knew exactly what their game plan was from moment 1 here.
Yeah, and that's why Valheim was banned game 1 against Tamago, but he made it through, and Valheim is looking so solid on Tamago. This is, like I said, a hero that they're so comfortable playing around, but I do like how Ellis is playing the Alice as well. They're comboing all their stuns really well.
Oh, good flicker, good snare, right underneath the tower. Isno combos all the damage onto Jason. Now though the Flying Spear will land in trade. Turtle's in trouble. KZP finds his second. 2 for 1 for Tamago.
Yeah, although they're able to kill Jason, though, Tamago gets 2 kills and turns that around in their favor. What a nice rotation and play by Tamago. This is going to allow them to potentially take the top tower, but the rotation from Duo is going to come just in time to stop that from happening.
That was such good play. Duo will be there in time, maybe to stall this out. That Metamorphosis does land a little bit late, actually. Could still work out. It stalled long enough for Tiro. Els, that was such a good hissy fit just for stall. It keeps him and Satan alive, and now they can go re-aggress. KZP is looking for the pick. They know Duo's Metamorphosis will land soon, and it does. KN lands a Death's Embrace, but it doesn't matter because he needs to get through to get to safety, and Jason's arrived as well, and this is terrifying for Overclockers.
Yeah, that was a great Death's Embrace, but guess what? The whole team is with him, and they protect KZP, and the Omen Ka is not able to survive long enough, and he falls immediately. What a great, again, counterplay from Tamago. Every single time, they are basically taking the aggressive rotations and aggression from Overclockers and returning it in kind and countering so well back.
Tamago doing an outstanding job fighting back that game. Turtle will be able to shift back to his farm. He just wants to reset, but Tamago aren't going to give him the opportunities. Instead, they continue to press forward in mid. They indeed take that mid tower incredibly low.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, BBTY needs to make this work. Isno is the theoretical counter on the Aram, but he's not having a great time. And Els is here. Maybe a pick coming through in the bot lane. It needs to be perfect. Hissy Fit will land for the slow. Sunshine for the stun, but there is no chase. Tamago will fall back as KA in the top lane is pressing forward. He'll land to Death's Embrace, but it's Turtle who's suffering. Tainted just shifting through it all. He'll be able to pick up the pick onto Jason, and a long-range Flying Spear goes wide, but again, Tamago have held on.
Yeah, they're punishing this Valheim. They're rotating constantly on top of them, but look at the mid lane fight. 4-man rotation already, not have to back off again, but I love how Overclock's playing. They are still aggressive, TJ. They are behind significantly, honestly, at this point. 7-minute mark, 5 kills down, and 3,000 gold lead behind, but they're still playing just as aggressive. They're not playing as if they are behind. And that's going to give him a chance to come back, because one good fight in the late game around that 10-minute mark can put overclockers right back into this game. So tomorrow needs to be very careful, but continue to do what they're doing.
Tamago, like you said, in control for now, but it is a contested control, so they'll shift their focus, and it's going to be the Abyssal Dragon as their priority pickup, building that gold lead in their favor, and there is no strong contest from overclockers. Instead, they're directing their focus over towards the Slayer lane, trying to find some value. That's why KA's cut this wave, and this tower will fall.
Yeah, I love what KA did there. Cut the wave, made Jason back off, and allowed Turtle to take that tower easily without any type of contesting. And look at this. They're now putting pressure. They're the team that's behind, and they're putting pressure against the Mongol.
Tainted will be able to secure their own jungle as overclockers press in. They need to secure all of their own jungle, and they have done exactly that as KA stunned on the retreat. BBTY here on the flank. Turtle has focused. Metamorphosis will come through, but it is ignored. The immunity strong as KA goes down as well. The Crest will be slaved, and it is a complete wipe. Tamago in control. Isno and Chiro will survive, but they're elsewhere on the map, and this opens up a Slayer rush.
Yeah, overclocker so greedy. Was that blue buff really worth it, Turtle? He stayed too long for that blue buff, and then you saw BBTY come in Richter with that engage. This is why Richter is so good against Lindis. He does so much burst damage, the knock-up and the stun that he has. Turtle just didn't stand a chance and fell down and immediately got CC'd so hard. So they have to be careful here. Again, they need to leverage the Arum and the Omen to counter this Richter here.
Flying Spear will go wide. They do have the Drake summoned, but the wave it was empowering has been cleared. That doesn't matter. If they can get it close enough to the tower, they can still take the tower, and the next wave is here. This is Tamago's chance to expose the high ground. They have Dua stunned up. Good play from Jason on the Valheim. This tower's gone. Turtle and Ismo are here on the flank, though, and they've got Tainted pinned down. He should fall, but he doesn't. Somehow he gets away. Ismo very low, but everyone survived. Jason finds a pick in the meantime. KA will rush him. There's the flicker over the depths. Back in. Turtle gets the trade, but he too will fall, and Tamago push the high ground.
And that's going to be the game for Tamago. TJ, what a play, what a fight there that just happened.
That was insanity in the top lane, and Tamago, like you say, now challenging the core. No minions, no problem. The series is tied up 1-1.
Yeah, that last fight was just insane. Tainted was so low, but he doesn't fall. Turtle gets in and gets caught and then falls as well. And then you saw what happened to Arm there. The Drake killed Arm. The Drake was what killed Arm, so they have to be careful with how they engage. But you can see Overclockers just playing aggressive. Even though they're behind, they're making plays, they're making chances. So I do admire their ambition there. But in the end, Tamago was just better at counterplaying, and as a result, they were able to win. But all of the combos, the slims, but honestly, the Alice really shined in this game. The hissy fits were just so on point. Every time he landed a hissy fit, the Sunshine Stun would come out, and they would follow with Richter or slims with their stuns, and it was just too much crowd control that Overclocker wasn't able to handle. And now they might be slightly knocked off center here. You know, they just came from a huge momentous game 1 victory. Now look at game 2. The demeanor has completely changed for Overclockers. Look at them. They are thinking this through. They cannot lose confidence in their play here because honestly, even though they're behind, they played well, but Tamago just played so much better with those counter engages.
Can we talk about Jason? I'm sorry, I've been very quiet for you, Sui. I let you get through your thing. He got 5 kills that game. He flickered over a Death's Beacon. He did 32% of his team's damage. That man did insanely well.
Yeah, he was the key in the early, and he's the reason why they got 2 kills in the bot lane there. And then they took the Abyssal Dragon from that play. It was because of this Valheim play from Jason. He did such a good job. They tried to focus him. He's the only one with the depths because they constantly ganked him on top lane. But his team was right behind him. They rotated and converted his death into 2 kills and more. And that's why Tamago kept trading positively in every single fight that they had and allowed them to get the lead every fight. And they need to keep this up. And now Overclockers knows, hey, we're not going to give Valheim over to you. So they're going to ban Valheim again like they did in game 1. They're going to probably ban Valheim in game 3 here. So Tamago, they need to come up with a different strategy here against overclockers. And I think Richter also was a key hero. You know, Tamago got Richter in this last game, and Richter was also given to overclockers in game 1. So I feel like Richter cannot be given to either of these teams. If they do give Richter over, then that team is asking for a higher chance of losing.
Crazy thought here, Sui. Can we forget the Elsu ban? We've constantly seen teams ban out Elsu, and I feel like every single time the team that bans Elsu has lost. Sometimes because that lets Richter through, sometimes because that lets Richter through, sometimes just because that leaves them behind in the draft. Is Elsu really that strong?
Yeah, it's just he's really hard to find. You know, he has his stock ability, which gives him, you know, pretty much 100% pierce if you build the right items on him, like Miramasa. And he can literally explode targets and just snipe you from a safe distance. And when you're low, they can then force objectives, right? They can force objectives and invade jungle because he's literally sniping from such a far distance and getting everyone low. So that's why, I mean, he has massive damage. His snipe ability, which is his second ability, does over 1,000 damage and has a 250% attack damage scaling ratio to it. So I think that's why Elsu's banned, because once he reaches that mid game to late game power spike, he just does way too much burst damage from a far range that there's really hard counterplay against him. And if he has the right protection, no assassin can really get onto him.
It is all about that protection, though. I do think an Elsu would be vulnerable to good assassin play, and we'll have to see if any of the teams can pull it out here, because I feel eventually someone's going to decide that the Elsu ban is just not worth it.
Yeah, and I would love to see an Elsu get played, because I've never seen Elsu get played at high-tier competitive play yet on an international stage. So, well, they allowed Elsu to come through here, and maybe they have a plan against him, because, you know, if an assassin gets an Elsu, he's dead. He's very vulnerable once you get onto him. But look at this play by Jason. The flicker here. Inzo tries to flicker away, but Jason then flickers to counter engage. And this was key here. They even though Turtle got the kill, they traded. Tamago always traded better every single time.
Yeah, every single time as well, it was Jason. Look at his positioning. The number one most important thing on Valheim is positioning, and you can see he almost always engages from a safe distance, and then he'll do these crazy melee range fights when he knows he has the team to follow through.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the Drake here. The Drake kills Enzo there. That was just insane. And AA doesn't kill Jason right away, and as a result, Tainted doesn't fall. He continues, and that ends the game.
That flicker! That one flicker maybe defines my entire life. If I could just live my life within that 20 seconds where the flicker happens and goes over KA and takes him to safety, I absolutely would.
Yeah, again, all of these pros, the way they use flicker at the right moment to secure kills like Jason did, right? Or to get away and survive with a sliver of health, it's just so inspiring to watch. You know, it makes me want to try what they're doing in ranked match and fail utterly at it.
I do that already, but it is the power of that extra mobility, particularly on characters like Valheim, and that's very, very important. We are, of course, if you're just joining us, continuing the English language coverage of the AIC 2018. We're in the first group stage. There are two. We're in the first group stage, day number 1, and our final match of the day. Tamago has just fought back versus Overclockers, bringing the set to 1-1. And we will be into game number 3 in a moment. I don't want to cut anything short. I don't want to mess with your analysis, Sui. But you were the one that said this would be a 2-0. I said it would be a 2-1 in favor of Tamago. Are you holding through this theory?
Yes. I think it wasn't 2-0 because honestly, they gave over Valheim and Richter to Tamago. Why would you give Valheim, if you've done your research and studied Tamago, they play extremely well in Valheim every time they get it. And also, Richter is an OP hero. I think he's won every single game that he's been picked in. Like, you should never get, like, they banned Bennett instead of Richter. Like, Bennett wasn't even picked or banned in game 1, and you're gonna honestly ban him in game 2. It didn't make any sense to me why Overclockers did that. I think they're a little overly confident, right? Kind of fits their name. And, you know, giving Richter over, it was not a good draft from them. So I feel like they're going to course correct it this time.
Were overclockers feeling a bit too hot? Can they install a little bit of a heat sink as we get into game number 3? Tainted, of course, the star of Tamago. You can see his stat line there last game, 6-0-4. We haven't talked about him much, but he was the star player of this team, both at PvP Live in Singapore and at the AWC when they played as Team Singapore. I really like to highlight exactly how good he is and how quiet he's been. That last series was a step up, but he hasn't been taking over games.
Yeah, he definitely hasn't been taking over games, and the big thing too is, what the Tamago is doing really well that they need to continue is their counter rotations. You notice in game 1, they weren't able to counter rotate as well against overclockers, but game 2 they punish overclocker every single time and rotate against him. So if they continue it, they may be able to, like you said, make your prediction come true and win that. But it'll depend on this band draft here that we're gonna see.
Well, I heard the Arena of Valor music. I knew we were getting in the game, and we are. The Valheim ban comes out first. Elsu in response. Yep. Tamago, again, the team to ban it. Overclockers getting rid of the Valheim that caused them so much trouble game 1. Now, what are you looking for?
Yeah, I'm looking for they need to follow their last ban. We can potentially see the Mina come out. I think that's what they banned game 1 was Mina Valheim. So that's a really good, continue that trend here. They need to ban Richter right here. Just who cares about Ignis? Ban Richter off. And they're going to ban Ebeneth. Why are they banning Ebeneth here? This is so interesting that they're going to ban Ebeneth, because game 1, Ebeneth was not even in the mix. And Malik will be banned, so they're going to give Richter over again.
I like this because it means they'll get Ignis. If they ban Ignis here... Oh yes, so they've left it as a choice. Ignis or Richter. You choose, overclockers. And they do. Ignis will be the lock-in. Richter, Lindis the response. Tamago, you've gained the draft. I'm on the Tamago train all the way through.
Oh my goodness, TJ. They may make your prediction come true. And we know Richter has not really lost, I think, today. And this is looking really good for Tamago. Tainted on the Lindis as well is really solid, but we can't underestimate the power of Ignis though. He is constantly banned all the time for a reason, because of his constant stun, his 1-2-1 ability with his Holy Embers ultimate as well, and then the Fire Crash again. It's a constant CC chain, so Ignis might be able to be the shining light here that can potentially beat a Richter engage. But it's going to depend on how they play each other. It's going to all depend on the skill and how they can protect their hyper carries against the Richter.
Yeah, and we were all worried about that Richter ban. I feel like I have to side with Tamago in this draft so far. I think they've absolutely gamed it. They're forcing overclockers to have a response. They're forcing overclockers to build a draft system specifically around countering the Richter. And that's exactly what they'll do. Now you see the draft come through. They have a Lubu, specifically a Lubu and a Ebeneth, because they want to counter the Richter. And because of this, because that means overclockers are playing responsively, I think it means Tamago are in control.
Yeah, and I think Lubu being picked up is very interesting. There's a lot of other solid picks that you have. For example, the Roxy, or she's very, very strong. Look at the Violet is being banned away. Crickneck potentially will become as a ban too. I would love to see overclockers play like Murad if Crickneck is banned, because Murad could really work well into the composition. Murad has seen a lot of play and has a lot of success. So let's see if the Crickneck ban does come out here, because if they don't ban Crickneck, they're going to give it over. Ooh, they're going to ban Slims instead. That means Crickneck's going to be available for overclockers.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I fully agree with that. You do see the draft continue, and this is a really hard decision, I think, for overclockers. And they will go for a crashed. I like that, actually, because once again, you're figuring what is your opponent going to do to counter you. Because they ban the crash, because they ban the Mina, they can now go full dive assassin and maybe burn down the backline.
Yeah, that's exactly what is going to be so dangerous if they do decide to do that. So what are they going to pick here for side lane? Because they have a chance to secure some pretty solid side laners, such as the Roxy, would work really well here.
You have to be aware that the Kriknak is coming now. So what are you doing to counter the Kriknak? Well, interestingly enough, they're going to go for an Alice this rotation.
And Alice was the reason why they won last game, honestly, with the Richter, of course. But Alice, to Hissy Fit, was perfectly placed and timed with the Sunshine combo that she did. Worked out really well for them. And it's going to help also disengage. So it counters the Assassin comps. So Alice is a very good counter against a Kriknak, because if Kriknak jumps in and the Hissy Fit comes down, he's kind of stuck and slowed. So it will work really well into a Kriknak if the Alice plays that way, because Alice is like the anti-dive mage. Support.
Another squishy team comp, another stun-focused team comp coming through from Tamago. The answer from Overclockers we predicted would be Assassin Dive. We said the Kriknak was an obvious next pick, and they, it seems like, maybe in light of that Alice draft, are changing it up at the last moment. They're instead shifting towards more of a fortress composition. Enable their front line, support their back line. They're going to have Ybeneth, and they're going to have the Ybeneth acting as like a front line, and then you're going to support the Ignis with a Pura, with a Fennec, so that you can find damage onto the enemy front line. I don't really like this. I think Tamago still has
Well, game one, it worked really well for them, though, TJ. They actually did a really good job with the Fennec and the Pura combo there, and with Ignis now as a really powerful mage that has some sustain in terms of his kit there. He gets a barrier when he's using his abilities, and he does true damage with Holy Ember. So honestly, if they keep Ignis and Fennec alive in these fights with the Pura and also the protection from Nature's Realm with the Bennett, that is massive there. And also Lubu is almost going to be impossible to kill if he gets the Nature's Rally from the Pura there, along with his Conqueror ultimate and the lifesteal he gets. It could work out really well for them, but we can't underestimate the power of Richter with Alice and Liliana. That's a lot of heavy engage and damage output from the Lindis as well. So they may pick an assassin. Oh, Joker will be picked up instead here. That's a very, like I said, Tamago always does drafts that surprise us.
But this gives them a little bit more poke at range. This gives them the ability to get into the enemy's squishier backline with long-range poke from the beginning. I really like that.
Yeah, so they do have the range advantage with the Liliana here. However, we know Ignis, if he can land his CC, his Fire Crash onto his opponents, they're pretty much going to be trapped very hard there. So it's going to come down to how well Tamago can answer and lock down the Ignis, because Ignis is a key part of the draft of Overclockers.
Our first game 3 of the AIC, the decider between Tamago and Overclockers in Stage 1 of the AIC group stage. It's gone this far. I'm almost certain Game 3 will be a spectacular one. When we get into it, I think, devolves now to a battle between the Ignis and the Lindis, the two backlines. Which one succeeds, which one shuts down the other? Can you land enough damage onto the other backline that they're not able to just hover? Particularly in the case of Ignis, if an Ignis is allowed to do that, the win is almost guaranteed.
Yeah, the thing about Ignis too with Pura, what I love is he gets healed from the Sacred Flame,
you're right.
and resets Fire Crash as well. And Fire Crash gives him a barrier. It absorbs up to 800 damage plus 65% of his ability power. So he can absorb up to 1,000 plus damage in a late game with his build. So he actually gets super tanky, and he activates Fire Crash all the time with the reset of Sacred Flame. So Ignis with Pura is almost impossible to kill. So they have to build Curse of Death and Tomb of the Reaper on Tamago's side, because they have to counter Lubu too. Don't forget, Lubu has a lot of lifesteal on top of that. So if they don't build Curse of the Death or Tomb of Reaper, I don't see a way that Tamago's going to win.
Well, we'll see. This is potentially the end of the road for both teams, because they're competing, I feel, for the same spot in their group. Only two teams from this group can continue. Both Overclockers and Tamago need to win this game in order to ensure it.
Yeah, but we're here, TJ. This is the first full series for us here that goes all the way, because every other match today has been 2-0s, but this is our first best of 3. That's truly a best of 3 here. I could not be more excited to see the outcome here, because both these teams will be fighting for their lives.
Yeah, the other team in this group is the Chinese roster, OMG. If they lose this game, and the Chinese roster is as strong as we've been hearing they are, that could mean you're out right then and there. This game could decide who advances in the AIC.
Exactly. So much is on the line for both these teams here. And you can see there, you know, Dua was phenomenal on the Pyrrha. If we remember from game 1, his Pyrrha play and the Nature's Rally, the healing lights came at just the right moments with the talent heal as well. So much sustain for his team there. So Dua is someone that they have to watch out for.
The mid lane Ignis was what I would call out to watch out for. It's going to be played by Chihiro. We'll see if there's the potential, maybe from BBTY, to threaten him.
Yeah, BBTY is on this Richter again. We saw how well he played Richter in the last game, and that allowed them to get the victory. But look at Tamago there with the rotation. Jason on this Joker, though, it's going to be very interesting, because Joker's job is to focus down the turtle. If Joker can get the Laughter ultimate onto Finnick, that's going to stun him and allow them to burst down turtle.
We'll see. There's the friendship speed boost shield applied. This tower's under threat early. The Lindis have tainted, just focusing tower damage. Ka on defense tries to clear a wave and can succeed. Tamago get very little. In the meantime, Overclockers are focusing down this Abyssal Dragon, and they do have damage. KZP in particular getting absolutely roasted alive by Chihiro will mean the early Abyssal and the first major objective of the game goes to Overclockers.
Yeah, what a play there. Did you see Chihiro? Like, you called it, TJ. That Fire Crash combo with the Rain of Fire was just devastating. KZP fell less than half health and was constantly CC'd and stuck in the combo there from all those Fire Crashes from Ignis. This is where they got to be careful, because Chihiro, just watching how he plays this Ignis, he understands the power of Ignis. If you're landing these Fire Crashes and activating the Sacred Flame passive from Ignis, that's constant CC and so much AoE burst damage that comes off for Ignis. So they have to watch out for Chihiro here, and that's going to be so fun to watch how this game is going to play out in the late game.
And that's why Chihiro needs to be a focus. You need to be able to burn him down at the start of these fights if you're Tamago.
And look at this, the pressure coming out. BBTY is in danger. It's a 4-man rotation against him. He's got to be very careful here. And there's no wave, though, unfortunately. They're going to rotate here, potentially catch up Tamago.
Yeah, Tamago did push through in the mid lane, trying to threaten that mid tower, and I think that might have been a mistake. Now KZP needs to get out of there. He does the leap of the fox to safety. He will be able to back out.
But TJ, look at that healing light on all 4 members. The amount of heal and sustain that Pyrrha gives is just insane.
What's this? This is a lot of pressure deep onto KA. Chihiro is nearby as well. He'll flicker close. Rain of Fire does land. Holy Embers as well. Tainted down low. They need to run through this tower. That's the only way to safety, and they'll do so. In the meantime, threatening the tower itself and securing the kill. Cat Laughter will land onto KA. Tainted is stunned out. Chihiro pushes through the whole team and finds a kill regardless.
Oh my god, Chihiro is a monster on this Ignis. That combo and that aggressive positioning, he was able to easily, and look at this here, BBTY is going to fall.
No, he's not. He's going to push through the whole team. He cleared the wave, he almost saved the tower, and now he's making his way to safety.
Oh my god, they're going to give up that tower, and he gets away to safety, but Chihiro, again, the way he's playing his Ignis, TJ, he locked down Tainted and destroyed him with the constant CC and landing these Fire Crashes. And you can see the Fire Crash. It gives Ignis a movement speed buff, a barrier, and it gives him a heal. So, again, if they don't have an answer to Chihiro, they're going to be in big trouble late game. So I'm waiting for Tamago here, what they're going to do. I think the key is going to be this Alice. If they can get that Hissy Fit along with the burst from the Joker, from Jason and BBTY and KCP, they have a chance here. But I don't think they're going to allow them to get onto Chihiro with the front line of Lubu and the Ibineth here. Look at that.
Chihiro is the focus, and I'm with you, because they dive so hard onto him, 2 players committing, and neither one finds enough, and he heals up in the midst of it all. The gold lead against Tamago.
Oh, that's their chance. They could have gotten the hissy fit came down, but there's no follow-up engagement. Look at this.
Oh,
The Lubu
Jason.
KA is showing Jason there. He's in big trouble.
I don't know, Jason decides to stand and fight, and it was a mistake, but the trade is there. Tainted has the damage and the kill. In the meantime, the rest of Overclockers rotate up to the top lane, where Nature's Realm is spent, and it's going to be threat onto BBTY underneath the tower. The Smart instantly applied. He's got the wave clear. Chihiro is here as well for the stun. Holy Embers, BBTY dodges it all. However, the tower still falls. In the meantime, the rest of Tamago is trying to undo their gold deficit by focusing down the dragon.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, hissy
My
fit.
goodness, a bush.
That's not bad at all. Is no though with the Redwood Rush. He scoops out an entire team. Els needs to just run to safety.
Yeah, he definitely run to safety, bro. That was a good bush gank there by Tamago. It didn't play off in their favor, but those are the kind of plays and positions they need to do to try to make it back into this game here.
This is the kind of start they're looking for. Tainted will be tagged out. Good commit by KA. He's just running for his life, but the stuns coming through from the Forest Sentry from Dua doom him.
And they're going to secure that blue golem there. And right now, the lead is in Overclocker's favor. And that is not what you want with the Ignis. He's going to start scaling so hard here. They have to be very careful.
Oh, a hard commit to shut down the Ignis. At least that's the goal. They get him to half HP, but no further. Holy Embers will be spent defensively, and PBTY has no choice but to bail. They cannot get a fight if they don't shut him down, and Tamago cannot shut him down.
Yeah, did you see that, TJ? He was engaged by the Richter, but he survived. He had a barrier. He got the heal from the Pyro. The talent heal came out as well. The Nature's Rally. They could not kill Chikiro. And if they cannot kill the Ignis, they're going to be in big trouble because he's going to have so much sustain. He's building Orb Magi. He has the Gilded Creeps as well to counter all the CC so he can get out of it quickly. And once he finishes his second and third tier 3 damage item, Chihiro is going to start to scale so hard here. So this is Tamago's chance right now in this game because Lindis, Joker, as well as Liliana and Alice, they have a nice power spike here with Richter that can basically try to get right back into this game because right now they're losing the pressure game. All the lanes are being pushed against them. And if that happens, the objective and jungle is going to go the way of Overclockers.
This is their opportunity to save the day. Overclockers take advantage of the reprieve, though, to focus down the Dark Slayer. If they get this, I think it's their game.
Yeah, Tane is going to come right in here, but going to try to get in Turtle.
Good zone, Turtle very low. There's the pickup found. I do think that buff went in favor of Overclockers. They managed to pull it out. Chihiro responsible. Nature's Realm will be spent. BBTY needs to disengage as KA dives into the midst of the team. However, they stun him out. The Riki shot will connect. Tamago win the fight regardless. 3 kills in their favor.
Yeah, that was such a risky Dark Slayer there. Beautiful, aggressive rotation by Tainted. They're coming in and focusing down on Turtle, getting the kill onto him.
He can't retreat because there's a hissy fit awaiting him. He does anyway, relying on Dua's heal to keep him alive. Now the wave comes through in mid. Tamago want the tower. They want to fight, they want to convert it, but they cannot make it happen.
Yeah, that still was massive for Tamago, though. They're able to get 3 kills, and then the Abyssal Dragon is going to put them right back into the game. It's exactly what they need. And if they were able to take a Dark Slayer too, that would have been really bad for Overclockers here. But that was really risky of them to do that play and not be able to push the mid lane. But Tainted, Tamago just knew. That was such a decisive call from them to rotate immediately. They ignored the Dark Slayer. They don't really care. They secured the kills first. They got the kill onto Turtle, then Chihiro. And after the Mage and the Fennec falls like that, that's it for Overclockers. They lost that fight, and Tamago was able to get right back into this game. And look at that.
I do worry, though, it took the aid of the Dark Slayer, really, for them to be able to get Chihiro. Is that repeatable? That's the question, and that's what they need to find out.
Yeah, but if they're on top of each other like this, the Pyro is going to shine so much better. And look at the damage coming out from Turtle here.
Oh, good hissy fit, and there's the command. BBTY deep into the enemy backlines. Chihiro is playing so safe, though. He'll just kite them back, and it is no with the branching out. In the meantime, he gathers them together. Nature's Realm as well, and there is nobody left for Tamago. Only Jason and KZP to play behind the tower. They need to hold strong.
TJ Chihiro was so awesome in that fight there. He came in there and focused down BBTY. He landed the rain of fire stuns, the holy embers, the fire crashes constantly hit them. BBTY just didn't stand a chance. He didn't have a second ability up to dodge that, and now as a result, they might secure the game and win this.
This could be game. Jason needs to play defense for about 5 more seconds. I don't think he can. He's down. There's no minions, though. They can't finish. They've all but won the game, and Overclockers cannot finish. The kills now need to come through. Nature's Realm from Ismo will stall out. The wave has arrived in mid. Els will fall. Tower and Core again under threat. BBTY will hard commit. 3 players, 4 players focusing him. Nature's Realm as well. He'll go down. It's all untainted for the clear. 9 seconds left on respawns, and Overclockers take the game.
Wow, look at that. What a decisive victory. Like I said, they had no answer to Chihiro. The only time they won these fights, TJ, was when they were able to kill Chihiro's Ignis. But that last fight, he was literally on free reign. Fire crash after fire crash, a perfect holy embers in the way of BBTY. He couldn't run away. Then the rain of fires came down, activating the sacred flame and stunning BBTY, and then they secured the kill, and that was game over Tamago. After that, they follow up, they CC, the duo went in as Pyrrha, landed the Nature's Rally, the healing lights came out, and it was just too much aggression. Tamago was not able to handle it, and then they fall in that top lane fight, and that just sealed the deal. What an amazing play by both teams, honestly, but Overclockers coming out ahead, and Chihiro, the star player in his Ignis there, giving Richter his first loss, actually, I believe, in the game, because Richter is such a strong side laner.
It's getting quite late over in Vietnam, and the crowd is still there, loving the home team's victory. As it's a 2-1 victory for Overclockers over Tamago in the group stage. That means Tamago need to be able to beat the Chinese representatives for a chance to continue in the stage 1 of the AIC groups.
Yeah, they're getting so much support from their fans from Vietnam here. Over 80,000 people concurrently watching to cheer on their home team. What a great victory there for the home crowd. Overclockers' first live stage experience on an international stage, and they deliver for their home country.
I dare say they're quite happy with it if it's their first international performance. Well, thank you very much for joining us for day number 1 of the AIC coverage in English. That will be the end of the day for us. We have no more games remaining. Before we get into stats, we will touch on a breakdown of that last game, I believe. I would like to say, once again, thank you very much for bearing with me. We did have some disastrous technical issues at the beginning of this stream that meant our planned broadcaster couldn't run the stream. And as a result, I had to get things together as best I could in time. So I have been running the stream and casting, and it's been a little bit sloppy, because I'll be honest, not great at either. So, thank you very much for bearing with me. It's been a stable day 1. It's day number 2, and the rest of the AIC English coverage, I promise, will be flawless, like a gem.
Yeah, that's a big promise, TJ. That's a big prediction you're making there. But honestly, TJ, awesome job today, and everyone came through and was able to help make this broadcast possible in English. I'm glad to have all the fans come here and really see how exciting Arena of Valor, the International Championship, is to watch, and how all these teams have come out to play. What a fun day 1. I can't wait for day 2 to happen. A lot has been seen now. A lot of tricks have been pulled out. Richter showing the potential that he has, but also key trump picks like Chihiro on this Ignis, and Vietnam looking super solid so far, representing their home country in this competition.
Yeah, don't forget, this is only day 1, this is only stage 1, and we do have much more still to come. Thank you so much for joining us. We do have many more games over the course of the next 3 weeks, as we have just wrapped up day number 1 of the stage 1 group stage. Games will resume tomorrow at 11 PM Pacific time, that's PST. Thank you very much for joining us once again for day number 1. My name was TJ, joined by Sui J, and we saw a series of 2-0s today. We started off, of course, with off-stream Flash Wolves taking out their opponents, and Nova Latam We saw ALG in the second half of their game, 2-0ing their opponents from Indonesia. XDG got wiped by the terrifying Thai team Toyota Diamond Cobra, and Overclockers scraped out a victory over Tamago in the last 2-1 set. I'm gonna give you the last word, Sui. I'll give you...
Yeah, what crazy play. I love seeing the meta and how these regions and teams face each other. I'm really proud that North America won decisively 2-0 there, so they hopefully will make it out of their group. But you can see the group stages here. This is a knockout stage, guys. It's 3 days of round robin in each of their groups, and only the top 2 teams will survive, and the bottom 3rd team will be knocked out. So these teams are fighting to stay in the competition to continue their trip to Thailand, where they will face off in the second group stage event there. So this is the knockout stage, you know, and all the teams have to compete, but all the teams performed really well there. You can see the results. So really, really nice job.
Yeah, it's been a great start. I can't wait for more to continue. Sui, I said I'd give you the last word. You gave me a last sentence. You get one more word. You get to pick it.
Yeah,